And we're live. Very nice. I'll wait for some people to hop in here so we can start things off in a second. Let me turn this off. But yeah, let's just I got one person here watching. What's up, one guy? Where's everybody watching from? I don't think I need audio checks anymore, just because I can see it now pretty good. What's up? D6K says hi. What up? Marco's in the chat. Marco's back from Italy. Had a little vacation, but yeah, I figured I was gonna shoot a video this weekend, but I never did. So I figured why not take the opportunity to do a little live stream. I can't really leave the apartment, that's why I didn't film, because I'm taking care of my friend's cat, my friend Glory, who you guys might know from the channel. Mango Gecko, sup Prosley, what up? She's visiting Japan at the moment, so I've got her cat. It's around here somewhere. I'm sure it'll pop up eventually. And yeah, I had a super chat button for people who want to buy the cat. Any bids open to purchase this cat, just send a super chat. Cat's all yours. I'll sell you Glory's cat. Marco, which country are we buying today? Yeah, I don't know. I'll wait for a meme to pop up and then I'll figure out what country I want to buy. But for now, you guys are buying a cat. It's a Scottish fold. You know, it's just been chilling all day. Eats a lot. Glory's cat, get this, only eats wet food. So only cans of like tuna or cans of salmon or chicken and things like that, and it reeks. I've never seen a cat that can only eat wet food. I think it's because it's a purebred. You know, it's got all kinds of issues. It's got like 6 toes. So this cat's just ridiculous. So yeah, any takers, just send a super chat. Cat's all yours. Well, I'll take the highest bidder. Whoever bids the highest gets the cat. But yeah, what do we got? 16 people in the chat so far. That's good enough. 2 minutes in. That's pretty nice. Happy Saturday, everyone. Today I wanted to talk about what it's really like living in China. I'll tell you my experiences. Obviously, I left China in 2017, late 2017, early 2018. I don't even remember, which was a long time ago. That's almost 10 years ago, and China has changed quite a bit in those years. K9X, wow, you're so handsome. Oh, cheers, thank you. Mango Gecko, some high maintenance shit. I know, right? China based, yeah. What is, by the way, because I've been gone from the West for a very long time, this new word I've seen pop up on the internet, based. What does that mean? Does that just mean like an agreeable opinion? There's so many words that people use that I don't know because I don't live there. So a lot of these new words, they come, people use them all the time, and then they go. People stop using them. And I never learn what they mean. What does that mean? You moved to LGBT China. I moved to gay China. That's what Taiwan is. It's just China with the gays. Based means good. Oh, okay. Is that what that means? I thought it meant like it's usually used with an opinion, right? Like, oh, that opinion makes sense. That opinion I agree with. Yeah, speaking about LGBTQ plus whatever it is now, again, that's another thing I'm out of the loop on. When I lived in China, there wasn't really, I had gay Chinese friends, but they were all from like big cities, you know, like Beijing or Shanghai or something, or Shenzhen, Guangzhou, those big cities. But smaller cities, like it was not okay to be gay at all. I'll tell you this one story. I've told it before. But when I was a teacher at Henan, what is this? I'm not going to move that. When I was a teacher at Henan, I taught at Henan University in Kaifeng. And I remember I was still learning about China. It was my first year. I didn't know anything. PTC, yo, how you doing, Prosy? What up, PTC? And so I would chat with my students who were like around the same age as me. I was like 22, 23 when I moved to China, and my students were like 19, you know. Based means agreeable to rightists. Okay. I didn't know it had a political background. Based is not a new term. You've been gone for so long. I mean, it's what? It's like within the year I've started hearing that word. I think it's pretty new. Anyways, yeah. So me and my students would chat about all kinds of different things, cultural differences, why they do this, why do that, little things, like I would notice they would bring, um, what do you call it? Like like a coffee cup, like a permanent coffee cup. Like, what are those called? A mug, like a thermostat, a thermos. I can't speak. You know what I'm talking about? And they would fill them full of hot water and flowers, like chrysanthemum. And it was tea. And I would just like ask them, like, what's that all about? I've never seen flowers in hot water before. Um, it's been around for a couple of years now. Really? Jesus Christ. I'm so out of the loop. There's so much I don't know. Um, anyways, and one day I asked them, we were talking about like cultural differences and stuff. And one of my students asked me about what life is like in Canada, and he heard that Canada has a lot of gay people because I think like gay marriage is legal in Canada, all that kind of stuff. Um, and a Stanley, yeah, I think that's the brand for that thing. But anyways, doesn't matter. I was like, yeah, people, we have gay people, like it's not a big deal, whatever. And I got this big like gasp from my students, like, oh my God, the gays. And I was like, well, that's an odd reaction. Um, does China not have like gay people? And they were like, no, like, ugh, like they were doing the gag. They were like, ugh, gay people, being a little elementary about it. I was like, really? So it's not acceptable, here? And they were like, no, not at all. And I was like, well, what? Okay, so what would happen if one of your classmates was gay? Like if there was a classmate here now in our class. And by the way, I had like 100+ students per class, right? This is a Chinese university, tons of students. So it's less of a class and more of like a lecture, I suppose. But I'd turn the lecture into more of a conversation because like I didn't know what the hell I was doing back then. Even if I was to teach university now, like if I were to go back and do that same job, I still would have no idea how to teach 100 people how to speak English at a time. So I asked them, yeah, like what would happen if one of you guys was gay? And they were like, we wouldn't be friends. And a few of them said I would beat them up. We would all gang up on them and beat them up. They were super against gay people, gay culture, LGBT. That whole thing was just not okay. And then I moved down to Guangdong, which is a little bit more, I won't say progressive, but a little bit more, it's more developed. It's more, it has more exposure to the outside world. That doesn't mean that it has a lot of exposure to the outside world. It just has more because, of course, it's connected to Hong Kong, right? And I had one gay friend who I think was from Beijing. So, yeah, it's in China. It's still, a lot of people are not, I don't know, open to that whole idea. And in Taiwan too, Taiwan is known in Asia for being like the first, what is it, the first Asian country to legalize gay marriage or something like that, or first one in East Asia or something. I don't know. And so while a lot of people are open to it, there's still a lot of people in the older generation who are not okay with it. They would not be okay if their kids were gay. My ex-girlfriend's brother came out as gay not too long ago. And I was asking her about it. A few months before he kind of came out, she was like, yeah, I think my brother's gay. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. He doesn't kind of come off like that. And then a few months go by, he comes out as gay. And I was like, you were right. He is gay. And she was like, yeah, it's okay. I have another brother. So, yeah. Are Lauai and Winston on the payroll of Falun Gong now? They're not on their payroll. They dance in the Falun Gong. You can go see them on stage. Based is so 2010s. Really? I don't think so. I think Based is newer than that. I just praise the CCP to my students and freak them out. I don't think praising the CCP to your students in China would freak them out at all. It's like quite normal there. To freak them out would be to criticize the CCP. Mango Gecko, what do you think about the recent movement for animal rights in China at the moment? Yeah, I saw like a news headline about it, but I haven't looked too far into it. It is interesting. There's a big one thing you'll notice about China is it's a bit of a dichotomy. It's such a huge place, right? And there's a big difference between living in the big cities and the smaller cities or countryside. I know you could say the same thing about a lot of countries, but in China that's particularly true. It's at an extreme in China. And so in the big cities, you'll meet people who say that they'll say Chinese people don't eat dogs. You know, like, oh, we don't do that, which is not true at all. You'll hear this from people who have never left the big city and so aren't aware of it, I suppose. But when you go to the countryside, there are dog meat restaurants everywhere, everywhere. At least when I lived there. And those people have no problem admitting it. You know, admitting it. I suppose it depends on how you view the consumption of dog meat. And so, you know, animal rights are not a thing, or were not a thing when I lived there at all. You know, even the direct Chinese translation, not that this has any real bearing on the way they think about animals, but it's literally 动物, moving object, like moving thing. To Chinese people, animals don't have rights or souls or feelings or anything like that. So there's a lot of instances of like animal abuse. I suppose now I'm just brainstorming because again, I haven't read too many. Maybe later we can look at some, if I remember, we can look at some news articles on it. But maybe now they're kind of growing a conscience about it because the ownership of animals like pets, like dogs, cats, and things like that have exploded in China in the last, we'll say 15, 20 years. It's quite new. I know when I lived there, there were a lot of people, my Chinese friends included, that were terrified of dogs. Terrified of dogs. Across Asia, it was like that. So if they got into like an elevator with a dog, they would lose their mind. And so now I suppose you have this clash between big city thinking where people have loved their own dogs for the last 15 years and couldn't dream of eating them, to the countryside where like there are dog meat festivals in Guangxi. If you go on like Chinese websites, which I don't really recommend you doing because they're a mess, you'll see some really fucked up stuff. I've seen some messed up stuff done to animals. I've seen farmers and like, so there's this idea, here's part of it. Here's part of the animal rights thing in China. There's this idea in Chinese culture where the fresher the meat, the better it is, the tastier it is, right? So they want to eat animals that were as close to death as possible. So they want to kill the animal and cook the animal as fast as possible, and that gives you the best flavor. Why that is, I don't really know. I don't know what the science is or the thought behind it, but that's what the idea of it is. And so you'll see, I saw a video of a Chinese guy cooking a donkey's leg while the donkey was still alive. This is messed up. So like, I don't know, I suppose you can stop this live stream if this affects you in some serious way. But there was a donkey that was tied to a tree with a rope, and a Chinese farmer had a blowtorch and was just blowtorching this donkey's leg. It was messed up. There's videos of like, I can't even say, it's so bad, but like they'll have these giant walks. I mean, giant, like this, like huge, like you couldn't pick it up, you know, like bigger than your wingspan. And they just throw live animals into them and cook them like that. It's messed up. So when people say like the recent animal rights activism in China, like what does that mean? You know, because they're starting from a really low point, you know? So yeah, I'd be interested to see what that is though. I only saw a couple of headlines. I didn't really read too much into it. Okay, maybe they misunderstood what you thought and thought you meant happy people. No, I don't think their English was advanced enough to know that gay can mean happy. Gays in China mustn't stay uncloset as it should be. Oh, must stay uncloset? I'm not really sure what that means. Only crazy foreigners and South Africans are left in mainland China now. I don't know. I mean, China's I think, has seen a massive influx in tourists in the last couple of years. And we'll look into that a little bit later on, too. Mangsha Yunnan has a street dog restaurant. Oh, a street of dog restaurants. Yeah, loads of places do. Dude, I remember we drove through Guangxi Um, I talked about that trip on my last live stream, but like there were dog meat restaurants everywhere. So it's insane that Chinese people would try and hide that, or claim ignorance over the whole thing. It's really normal. 卤肉好吃, yeah. Um, donkey meat, by the way, if you haven't had it, is actually delicious. I know it's not eaten in most countries, but it is really good. One of my favorite dishes of all time is called 河南烩面. It's like a thick cut noodles and a white broth, and you chew a bit of raw garlic, and then you stuff your face full of noodles. It's amazing. And I had it with donkey meat, which is 卤肉 in Chinese, and it's pretty fucking good. I'm not gonna lie. Um, so yeah, good questions. Keep them coming. That's interesting stuff. Um, but yeah, the reason I had this idea is because I was just browsing Reddit, and I came across this post, which is like, how does life really feel in China? Which is an interesting question. It's a question I ask myself all the time because like that was part of the reason I left China, was the feeling of it kind of went away for me. And this is coming from someone who's been traveling around China for about 10 days, and they're surprised because the streets are clean, public transport is efficient, everything seems organized, and people generally look calm and happy. As a tourist, it's been a great experience, and that harkens back to what I was saying earlier about China seeing a massive influx in tourism lately. I think in the past, China was kind of seen as sort of this scary place, almost like a North Korea-esque place that people shouldn't go to. And now it's kind of seen as like this high-tech future place, a bit like how Japan was perceived in the 90s. Ever had Wusu Red? What is that? Oh, Wusu Red Hangover. I'm not sure what that is, and I'm too scared to Google it. So if you can specify what you mean, I'll be happy to answer that. Uh, so yeah, curious to hear from Chinese people. What does daily life actually feel like? Do you enjoy living in China, or does it come with a lot of stress and struggles that tourists don't see? What are the biggest challenges? Cost of living, work culture, housing, government restrictions, job opportunities, social life. I'm not looking for political arguments, just honest personal experiences. What's life really like in that perspective? And I'll share my perspective from when I lived there, and then maybe we'll look at a few comments, or maybe some of you guys can share, fucking knows, can share your guys' experience as well if you've ever lived there. Xinjiang Pijiu. I don't know if I've ever had beer from Xinjiang before. Imagine it's pretty good. Chinese beer was okay. I didn't really like it though, to be honest with you. It's a bit light. It's a lot like Taiwan beer. Taiwan beer tastes a lot like the beer in mainland China. Um, so yeah, when I lived there all those years ago, China was insane. It was like the Wild West. It was a very unique experience, we'll say that. A place where like anything can happen. And you'll meet both foreigners and local Chinese people that will become your friends. And the foreigners were a mix of like, regular English teachers, people who ran businesses, people who were there to make a lot of money, with Chinese manufacturing and all that. For example, I worked for this school that was sort of part owned or was run by this couple, this highly conservative couple from Virginia in the States. They were lovely people, very nice, very religious, again, quite conservative, and they would come and visit the school every so once in a while, and they were the sort of connection that made the school international, right? They were the ones who were bringing in the curriculum, which was, I think, kind of illegal in China. But again, with how corruption works in China, there's a lot of low-level corruption there. So even though bringing in curriculum from the outside world was illegal, you know the right people, you pay the right people, you bring enough stuff in suitcases. We had people like flying in and out of the States to China with loads of suitcases with no clothes, or anything in their bags, just curriculum, and that's how we got our books and stuff. Anyways, it came out that whole school was like a complete scam. The Chinese side of the school never really got accredited, and it was losing money, and they were leaving out all this important information to this American couple, and they ended up trying to sue the Chinese side. I never know what came of it, but they ended up leaving China and just cutting their losses. And I remember one of the emails got leaked, and it was crazy to, because this couple was so like conservative, you know, and so I don't know, like your typical American conservative couple, and the email was like written in a way that you wouldn't expect them to be speaking. Um, and yeah, and what's sad about that school is I still get emails to this day because I taught grade 3 and grade 4, and now those kids are old enough where they're applying to universities, and I get emails from them asking if I have any paperwork from those days to prove that they went to school, because the school was never accredited as a real school, international or local. When they go to try and apply to universities in their home country, you know, a lot of my students were Korean. When they look at their paperwork, it looks like they never existed for those years. Like they never went to school, like they just went rogue. And they have no way to prove that they have the credits needed to pass like elementary school or whatever it is. It's fucking crazy, the shit that happens over there. I met one guy that ran a bar in Zhengzhou. He was a pilot. And you meet Chinese people from all walks of life. The Chinese people that I met were mostly coworkers from the school I worked at. Miss Zhou, who was featured on my channel a few times, she went to the UK. She was my coworker. She was the Chinese school at that, the Chinese teacher at that international school. And when I say it's crazy, I just mean like things that you would think would be a giant pain in the ass in most Western countries aren't so bad in China, and you can kind of do anything. Like there's no, because of the way things work there, red tape can be completely bypassed. Like I told that story in my last live stream about the car that I bought with no license or registration or anything, no insurance, nothing. It was just a complete illegal car. Like you can just do that because there's no, why not? You know what I mean? Like it doesn't matter. There are only 4 legal ESL books now, and they all suck. Really? In China? I know that they banned sort of ESL teaching or teaching English in China. That was just after I left, but I'm not sure how much of an effect that actually happened. Like, for example, in Taiwan, it's illegal to teach English to kindergarten students. The reason for that is because it preserves Taiwanese culture. They don't want, I guess they don't, it's not that they don't want it. The idea is that they don't have too much exposure to like the West, I suppose, is the idea behind that. But of course, there's thousands of foreigners teaching English in kindergarten in Taiwan. It's just like that whole law is ignored. And it's the same thing in China. There are a lot of laws that are just sort of ignored or bent to sort of suit your needs. Do you still follow hockey? Yeah, I do. I'm a fan of the Sens and I'm a fan of the Habs. You can't break red tape like that now. Yeah, again, I'm not sure how much has changed that much in China, but I imagine like that part of the culture probably hasn't changed because it doesn't even have anything to do with communism per se. You know, the whole idea of like rule breaking or rule bending or bypassing red tape or bureaucratic nonsense like that has been a thing in China well before the communists took over. And that's why it's a part of Taiwanese culture as well, but to a lesser degree. You know, the people you meet are crazy. The nights out you have in China are crazy. One of my favorite things I used to love doing in China was like me and C-Milk would go and find a restaurant that had outdoor seating with like, you know, plastic pink chairs and tables. And it was a big round table. And us and all our friends would order a bunch of food and a bunch of beers and just hang out outside and chat. And almost without fail, there'd be a Chinese, you know, a table full of Chinese people sat next to us. And once they had enough to drink, they would like welcome us over to their table. And we would drink with them. And, you know, eventually they would want to go to a KTV. And then, you know, you go to the KTV, which is karaoke for those of you who don't know. They would want to like buy a bunch of girls, you know, like what the fuck, like just crazy stuff like that, which I never engaged in because I was so young at the time. I thought that whole part was like super scary and super like, I don't know, sketchy kind of thing. I'll tell you one story that's fucking nuts. I met this guy, this American guy who I think still watches the channel, so I won't say his name. But he worked for a factory in Shenzhen that made vapes. I think they produced, I can't remember if they produced the whole vape or just like the batteries that went into vapes. And they sponsored me at one point to make, I don't think it was a sponsorship like for a video showed up on my channel. I think they hired me to produce promotional content for their factory for whatever reason. I can't even remember. I don't even remember if I ended up doing it. But I went to their factory and they had this big welcome banner and they were all really nice, whatever. Anyways, they had like a work party or something. I don't even know if it was an official work party, but eventually they wanted to go to, I think it was Huidong or the coast of Shenzhen or something for like a beach. No, that was a different time. I don't even remember now. But whatever. It was, that was actually a different time. Never mind, I'm getting confused. It was me, the American guy, and one of their Chinese colleagues who invited me to this place. I don't have a word to describe this place to you. We'll call it a resort for lack of better terms, but it's barely a resort. I can't, and if I've told this story before, forgive me. But I don't think I have because it's fucking crazy. It was this, it was like a golf, what do you call those, like a golf club? But it didn't just have golf. It had all kinds of facilities. And one of the facilities that we started at was a huge auditorium or like a amphitheater, like a show, you know, it had a big stage and then tons of seats. But we were the only ones there. Me, the American guy, and the Chinese guy. This place probably could have seated like a couple of hundred people, and we're the only ones there. And we saw this show. And the show featured singers, it featured gymnasts, it featured a dog show where they had dogs that would run through, like, they would jump through like hoops that were set on fire. There were, I was blown away, and we were the only ones there. There were more people on stage than the people watching the show. I didn't know what the fuck was going on. And we had service, like drinks were brought to us. Eventually they brought girls, one girl for each of us, who would just like, if you've ever been to Asia, generally speaking, they're like talking girls, you know, where they're called talking lounges, where they would sit, they would drink with you and chat with you. And yeah, they have that in a lot of different countries. But these women were 100% prostitutes. And I remember as the show was going on, I would look across the table and see that the Chinese guy was all like not talking to his girl, and he was frustrated and looked a little disappointed. And I asked him what was wrong. And he was like, I don't like this girl. She's not pretty enough. I was like, oh, do you want the girl that's sat next to me? Because like, I'm not fucking touching this shit with a 1,000-foot pole. I don't know what diseases are going on here. I don't know. I don't even know what the fuck. I don't even know why we're here. Right? Like, my American friend invited me to hang out. I didn't know what the fuck else. I didn't know any of this was happening. He was like, really? You would trade girls with me? And I was like, it's nothing to me. Like, go for it. And he was so happy, I remember. I remember his girl was so hurt by that. She was like, so, you know. Which feels so mean now looking back. And so she sat next to me and we chatted for a bit as the show went on. We watched the show finishes, and we go outside of the theater. It's dark out now. I'm like, where are we going now? Like, what is this? Because golf carts came to pick us up, but they're not golf carts like a traditional one. It's like a long one, you know, with a lot of seats. I'm not sure what those are called. They're like golf carts you would see at a zoo to carry tourists around, or at like an amusement park. You know what I mean? Or like an airport, I guess. And then so that golf cart would take us to the hotel, which was like a huge suite. It was like a kind of like a motel, if you've ever been to a motel in Taiwan, which is probably another thing I'll have to explain if you've never been to Taiwan. Where you take the girls back. And I remember being terrified because it was like, at the time, I can't remember how old I was, but I was like, I'm not fucking sleeping with a prostitute, you know. And I remember going back to the room and trying to explain to this girl that I wanted nothing, and she wasn't even like, you know, I know some people might be like, oh, I bet you she was hot. Like, how do you deny that? She wasn't like that pretty. The girl that I'd given to my Chinese friend was really pretty. Um, Not that it would have made a difference to me at the time. And she was like, so what do you want to do? I was like, I don't know, let's just chat. Um, and I asked her all kinds of questions about her life and how she ended up in that position, and did she go to school, and how in the world do you end up like this? Because all of my other Chinese friends or people that I knew in China previously were like relatively successful, I suppose normal people, you know, they would go into family business, or my university students in the university that I taught in all became pharmacists, all were quite normal, you know, relatively speaking. Like, how do you end up? And she said that she was half Vietnamese, and she left Vietnam as a child, like she was quite young, and moved to China with her father. Her father was the Chinese one, her mother was Vietnamese. And, but her father was poor, so she was like sold to a Chinese family. It's kind of like adoption in China is really popular because they have like a one-child policy. Back then, now they don't, but back then they did. And so if you had more than one child, you would give up one of your children to adoption to like a friend of the family or an aunt or something like that. But she was adopted and like sold to a Chinese family. It was the mafia. And she wanted to go to university, so she had to do this to pay for her school, was her story. I don't know. It was a really interesting chat. But outside the door, we hear like screaming and banging, all kinds of ruckus. And I was like, what the fuck is going on outside? There was like a fight happening. And so I go over to the door with this half Vietnamese, half Chinese lady in tow, and I look through the peephole. What do you call the I have one on my door. You know, you can see outside the door, whatever that thing is called. And the American guy's woman is completely naked, banging on my door, like angrily shouting to be let in. So I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I open the door. She comes flying into my room, all upset and angry. And the American guy opens his door. Now, he was a large man, we'll say. And that image was burned into my brain because he was also completely naked. And I remember his belly like went down to his thighs, like it completely covered everything. He could have been wearing pants and I would have no idea. And I was like, dude, what the fuck is, like, this whole day is fucked. I don't know what are we doing here? Why are you in the hallway? Why do I now have two prostitutes in my room? Why is one of them angry? Like, what? I don't know I need, like, I don't even, you know what I mean? My brain is just going a million miles an hour. And he was like, she won't do what I'm asking, and blah, blah, blah. And he was horribly drunk. And I was kind of drunk too, and I couldn't really understand what he was saying. And I was like, okay, well, why don't you put some clothes on and I'll deal with this. And I shut the door. I don't know what he did after that, but she was angry because he wanted to do something that she didn't want to do. And I was like, I remember her sitting on the sofa talking to my girl about it all in Chinese. And I was like, do you want like a towel or something? She's still like naked. And yeah, and it was crazy. And I can't even remember the rest of that night. I ended up getting really drunk. But yeah. So that was just stuff like that, okay, as an example of the fucked up stuff that happens in China can happen. Again, today it might be completely different. But when I lived there, it was like the complete Wild West. English training centers are banned, EF operators as drama schools now. Ha! See, again, a good example of how rules get twisted, bent, whatever. that's one of them. Having schools change what they are, right? Like, well, you can't teach English anymore. It's like, fine, this is a drama school. Like it happens again. It happens here in Taiwan. Like, for example, here in Taichung, it's really, really, really hard. Taichung's the city where I live in. It's really, really, really hard to get your liquor license in Taichung. So if let's say you wanted to open up a restaurant or a bar or something, you want to sell liquor. And so that on your paperwork, your legal paperwork, it says bar. That's hard to do. Because years and years and years and years ago, there was a famous fire. You'll hear about it the second you come to Taichung. Because you'll say something like, wow, Taichung is kind of boring, or Taichung doesn't really have as much nightlife as Kaohsiung or Taipei is. And people are like, oh yeah, that's because 15, 20 years ago, there was a big fire in one of the bars in Taichung that killed a bunch of foreigners, and the government cracked down, and now it's really hard to get your liquor license. And so I have friends that do own bars here, but they're actually, like, legally, it's a tea shop. So again, an example of how red tape, bureaucracy, all of that just gets worked around. Mango Gecko says, from my understanding, the more people you know and the more powerful they are, the more you can get away with. Yeah, 100%. That's absolutely accurate, and completely true. In a lot of countries, money is king. Money will get you places. In places like China and Taiwan, that's not the case. Money's obviously still important, but your relationships is the most important thing. So you can be poor, but if you know the right people, you have an uncle in that part of the government, you have an aunt that works for so-and-so, you can get a lot more money, a lot more done than if you had money. So yeah, totally true. 100% they were prostitutes. Yeah, totally. Stephen Play says, I remember staying in a hotel in Beijing, and every time I came back to my room, there was a handful of call girl business cards shoved under the door. Yeah, that's common. That happens at every single hotel that I stayed in. Me and Seamilk used to collect them. I don't know if I still have any, but yeah, they would just feature like a really attractive girl on a card with a number, and then you call them, and then a guy would show up on a motorcycle. I don't know if these are still around these days, but if back in the day, if you ever saw like kind of an older Chinese man driving an old rickety ass motorcycle, but there was a wicked hot Chinese girl on the back, yeah, she's a prostitute getting taxied to a hotel for services. And some hotels are more popular for this type of thing than other. So if you stay at that kind of hotel, there'll be like 10 of them under your door at the end of the day, Yeah, I remember those. Mango Gecko, what the fuck is this story, Prozzy? I get it's just one of those. It's one of those China stories, my man. Subtle Focus says the book bag hanging from the TV is diabolical. Yeah, I don't use that TV, and I need places to hang my stuff. I find in Taiwan there's no like vertical space for stuff. Like they don't put shelves anywhere. And if your place comes unfurnished, this place is furnished. It came with a sofa and a bed frame and a TV and stuff, but there's no shelves, and because the walls are concrete, nobody puts shelves up. Oh, I shouldn't say nobody, but it's kind of hard to find shelving. Not everywhere, but this place has no shelves. And I like to hang stuff up on walls, but I don't want to drill into the walls because one, it's a rental, and two, I don't know how to hang stuff up on concrete. So I use the landlord's TV. Did you... Stephen Blaze says, I was not going to use that as an opportunity to prove my Mandarin. Yeah, just like call up the call girls from the hotel cards and just start chatting to them to just practice your Mandarin. That would be hilarious because a lot of the times across all of Asia, you'll hear this from foreigners who like are trying to learn the local language, but they run into a bit of a wall because the friends that they make speak English, obviously, and when they try and practice Mandarin, their friends will just switch to English because they want to. They want to practice English. But the guys who are operating the call girls definitely won't speak English. That'd be a great opportunity to speak Chinese. That would have been such a good YouTube video, calling prostitute call cards and practicing Mandarin. That would be so funny. Fake account says, love this, it's real life. Yeah. I was in Kaohsiung before the big Ba Dong was built, and there was a poop gutters. Really? Funny story about that. we'll look into it. But an Austrian student that was just in the news today jumped into Love River, which is a big river in Kaohsiung, to go for a swim, and now he's potentially facing a massive fine. And we'll talk about why that's really gross in a minute. But it's funny you mentioned that in Kaohsiung. Skidla, Prozzy, you haven't seen a stream in forever. Glad to see you on here. What's up, man? Yeah, I haven't seen you in a long time, dude. I haven't seen you in the chat. I was going to make a video for this weekend, but I'm taking care of this cat, and it eats 4 times a goddamn day, so I haven't been able to shoot a video. Even if I wanted to shoot a video, I've been really struggling with the idea behind it for the past couple of days. And I have this thing, I'm kind of tired of complaining about it. But I have this thing where the more I think about a video that I want to shoot, the less I want to shoot it, because the more I'm really good at shooting down ideas, which is why me and like Alan or Simo work really well together, because like they're quite positive and I'm very negative, and when those two forces come together, we kind of strip away the stuff about the video that won't work, and then the video ends up working better. But if I'm by myself, I just put myself in a really negative space. Like, for example, just the other day, I watched this movie called Layer Cake, and it was really good. So if you're looking for movies to watch tonight or whatever, put that on your list. It's kind of hard to follow, but it's one of those classic British movies that I really enjoyed. I liked the way it was shot, and I felt really inspired by that. And I was like, I really want to shoot something like that. And Central District Taichung's got some really interesting locations I'd like to shoot at, but I didn't have really a topic for the video. And then I started thinking about it more and more, and then the more I thought about it, the more I was like, nah, fuck it. And I just shot the whole thing down. So I'm using this goddamn cat as an excuse not to shoot it. So again, my live stream fucking goals isn't working here. I can't get it to work. But is it working on this one? No, it isn't. Maybe someone needs to do a super chat for it to pop up. I'm not really sure. Someone wants to buy this cat. Highest bidder wins. It's around here. Can you guys see it? It's here. That cat is yours. Highest bidder. It's Glory's cat, my friend, who's in Japan right now, so I'm selling her cat while she's gone. Fake account says, was 11 and the kids game was called Saw Pow. You made little sandbags and toss them and tap and separate them on concrete. What are you talking about? Maybe that was tied to another comment. I don't know what you're talking about. Mango Gecko, maybe buy a standing coat rack. I have one. And it was attached to a mirror, and then there was a typhoon, and I opened my door, but I forgot that the door that is here behind the camera was also open, and the wind shot out like a cannon into my apartment, and it blew the coat rack down with the mirror, and it shattered into a million pieces. So I threw the mirror out and just kept, this is a fucking, how shitty I live. I kept like the coat rack part that's attached to nothing and lean it against the wall. And that's outside right now. I got to bring it back inside. I can't even remember why I put it out there. Fake account. It's amazing you haven't returned to Canada to live. Nah, I have no reason to. I don't know what I would do in Canada. Maybe when you guys can offer me a high-paying job, that would be great. But Canada's a very expensive place to live. And I wouldn't be able to afford to do that if I went back into my field of early childhood education. Stephen Blay! My speaker turned off. Let me turn that back on. Hang on. There we go. Wu-Tang is for the children. Oh, that's why it didn't show up. Because it's a super sticker, maybe? But thank you, Stephen. I appreciate that. Did that turn on my super... It didn't turn on the super chat goal. Why not? Why did that not work? Oh, I'll have to fuck with it later. Well, that sucks. Steven, I appreciate it. Thank you, my friend. That'll go to my dinner for tonight. Now I can afford to eat today. Actually, haven't even eaten today. What the fuck was I just talking about? Canada, yeah. If I went back to teach at a kindergarten, I couldn't afford to pay rent, really. Okay, hardware. Oh, that's Marco. And they feel it's less friction too. That's probably about something I was talking about earlier. Dadong was the fancy mall high rise. Oh, okay. Call Girl Chinese, the newest cram school. Yeah. A Prozzy stream. What's up, UK Maxi? A channel member. What up? Fake Account, do a video on the cool old kung fu theaters. They used to exist in 1977. I've never even heard of those, really. Stephen Blay, I'll buy it. Oh, that was a purchase for the cat. Nice. I only saw the super chat. All right, cat. So far we've got 5 pounds or euros. I'm never good at telling the difference. I should really figure that out for you. So that's the highest bid so far. Cat's yours. Yeah, I'll offer 20 cents US since no one has bid yet. Well, Mango, you've just been outbid by Steven for the cat. Eventually, I think the cat usually jumps up onto my desk, so you'll get a good look at it later. I love that we're doing a blind auction for this cat. Fake Account says with reference to Kaohsiung in 1978-ish to games kids played that were popular. Oh, okay, that's what you're talking about with the sandbag. Gotcha. I liked your motorcycle ride vids when you got your good bike new. Yeah, I like making them, but they don't really get that many views. So, but I'll make more because fuck it, they're easy and they're fun, and my Western audience likes them. UK Maxi says my name is Lawrence. Not sure why my YouTube is calling me UK Maxi. Oh, it's Lawrence. Is it Lawrence Bilton? Right. Okay, gotcha. That's why I didn't recognize you. Prosy Shopping Channel. Exactly. Yes. What else can I say about this cat? It's got 6 toes. It's a Scottish fold, so its ears looks weird. It's constantly disappointed. You know what this cat looks like? Do you guys remember my old cat? It was actually Simo's cat, and then I got it from him. Simo bought a Scottish fold when he lived in China, but then they had a baby, and Chinese people, this again harks back to the animal rights question I got earlier in the stream. Chinese people believed that animals are dirty, and so they don't like having like babies around animals because the animals are dirty. Which I suppose could make sense. If you lived in a small enough apartment and the kitty litter was like, I don't know, kind of around the newborn baby, maybe there's something to be said about how dirty that is. I'm not really sure. So they couldn't have the cat. And so they brought it to Simok's wife's aunt's place, and it lived on the roof of their house. And Simok felt really bad for this cat because it was really disheveled after like a month or 2 of living up there. It was bad. So I took the cat, and the cat's name was Chairman Meow. And this cat looks a lot like that cat because they were both Scottish folds. If you can pop it in the post to England. Yeah, I'll find an envelope big enough for the cat and I'll ship it to England for you. So it was 5 British pounds. All right. Taking out one thing I remember back in '78 was the family I knew for sure worshipped Chiang Kai-shek. Yeah, I guess they would have back in the day, right? Things have really changed. I was thinking about making a video about people's opinions on him and how they've changed, because Chiang Kai-shek is being sort of demonized lately, a bit like how in the West, or like in the States, you know, how they're taking down statues of like, I don't know, people who own slaves or whatever. It's kind of like that here for Chiang Kai-shek. Alan's in the chat. Bring the cat for dinner. Yeah. I'm not sure how to cook a cat, but we'll figure it out. It's the annoying Dr. Lawrence built it. Yeah. A bit chewy. You know, I've never eaten cat before. I've eaten a lot of weird ass animals when I lived in China, but never cat. I've met people that have in the past. Cat is not eaten widely in China. I've asked them why. You know, they eat dogs. Why not cats? Seems like the next logical animal to eat. And they said that because cats don't, they're quite bony. They don't have a lot of meat. And so it's not an enjoyable animal to eat, apparently, is the reason why. So there you have it. So yeah, that was kind of my experience living in China. I never had a license. None of my vehicles were registered. My life consisted of going to work, working for a fake school, driving old scooters and motorcycles. Like, I remember the government banned petrol-powered, again, forgive me if I've told this story as well, but the government banned petrol-powered scooters and motorcycles. And so people were switching to electric. Now, the outskirts of the cities were fine. You can get away with riding them. The police wouldn't care too much. Oh my goodness, $50 from Skidla. My God, that is going to pay for a couple of dinners.
Is for the children. We teach the children.
We teach the children. I'm really upset that that super chat counter doesn't pop up on the screen. Thank you, Skidla. Let's read his chat first. Again, super chats get priorities. Is the cat Digger? It is. How the fuck did you know that? Gimme. Also, by the way, Digger is the name of the cat. Gloria named it, not me. Also, have you seen Chi-Chi's videos? North Korean doing a streaming trip around Taiwan. Would love to see you guys do a video stream. I have not. He's North Korean? Let's, so you've got the highest bid. Sorry, Steven, you've been outbid by Skidla. He's got the cat so far. By the way, before I check out his videos, and I will do, because that's a huge super chat, I really appreciate it. Glory fucking loves this cat more than a child. Like I said, only eats wet food. By the way, this cat is just staring at this table and has been for the last 20 minutes and hasn't moved an inch. It's very weird. She takes it to cat hotels, pampers this cat, takes it out to eat with us. If we go camping, the cat comes, she gets in her car, the cat's there, she takes it to work. I mean, this cat lives better than I do. So when I tell her I'm trying to sell her cat at auction at a live stream, I don't think she will find it funny. Okay, let's take a look. Is Chi-Chi, are they a YouTuber? Let's, oh, sorry, I forgot to share my screen. Hang on, let's search this. Doing a little side quest for Chi-Chi. Is it this person? 1.6 million subscribers. Dude, this person's not going to talk to me. He's doing, has he made videos about his trip around Taiwan yet or not yet? They're all in Chinese, and I don't feel like translating all of this. Let's just click on the latest one. Does he have English
前阵子，香港独立书店店员遭到了国安警察拘捕的画面，在社群媒体上面。
Oh, wrong Chi-Chi. Okay, sorry. Okay, whoops. Let's see what we got here. This person? Sorry, you're saying she's North Korean? Are you sure she's North Korean? I think she's South Korean, no? Hangguo Chi-Chi. I'm pretty sure she's South Korean? Yeah, I'm out. Enjoy the cat, Skidla. Steven admits defeat. Can you pan over to the cat? I will in a minute. YouTube made me put a space on Digger. Yeah, no big deal. There's still a very strong sect in Taiwan that are like USA MAGA right now, right-wing following Chiang Kai-shek. Okay. Correct. North Korean. What? I don't believe that. I bet you she's South Korean. She gets she got 18,000 subscribers, 1.4 thousand videos. That's insane. And her viewership is all over the place. For a North Korean in Taiwan, this is not a lot of views. I don't know if I buy this. If you, Lone Locust says, if you want higher bids on the cat, have to show us some leg. Oh, there it is. Okay, fine. Before I look into... Nah, Skidla had a huge super chat. Let's just check this out really quick.
不要跟金正恩说我要偷偷玩的，好吗？拜拜。
North Korean girls are fucking hot. What the hell?
那是不是很好看？是不是昨天一定是的？哦，有。
So it looks like she's just taking live streams and then just like cutting them up.
吗？就这样子哎，量很多哎。啊，你说那个钱呐？对啊，有加700。昨天那个屏东的观众， 明明叫什么来着？他请客的，所以花的比较少。
So yeah, her videos are just live streams that are reposted. I mean, I guess it would be pretty interesting if she's actually North Korean. Again, these are all live streams. Interesting. I'd love to chat to her about her experiences. Thanks for putting her on my radar, my dude. Okay, the cat. Let's see if I can't get the cat in the shot. Pardon the mess in my apartment. That's maple syrup on there because I'm Canadian. There's the cat. Right here. Highest bid's $50 from Skidla. Hey, cat. Cat. Wait. Yeah. Again, it is a cat, so it's not going to pay too much attention. I'm sure it'll show up here eventually. But, yeah. There you go. There's some leg. North Korean work ethic. She's newly single, too. Really? What was she? Who was she dating before? Like a South Korean or something? Why have I never heard of this person? Can you imagine how crazy it would be having a fucking North Korean girlfriend? But she has South Korean flags in a lot of these things. Wow, pretty cat. Yeah, it's an alright cat. Does the cat understand English or Mandarin? I think Glory speaks to it mostly in Mandarin. I hope you do a live every Friday night. Well, it's Saturday right now. Maybe it's Friday for you. But yeah, I'd like to do them every single week, especially because it saves me from having to make 2 videos a week, which I've been trying to do, which is really hard. Like, I tried doing, I made a video talking about like questions I'm tired of answering. I shot it, I cut it, and then when I went home to look at the video, I was like, who gives a shit? And I just released it to my channel members. So cat gets sold? Isn't it a pet? Yeah, it's a pet, but I'm poor. And Glory gave me her cat to look at for the last couple of days. And so of course I'm selling the cat. I need to make them dollar bills, homie. Yeah. Skidla, she escaped to mainland, then got to South Korea. Now she's South Korean, been streaming in Taiwan for a few years. Really? It was Friday. I'm in Palm Springs, California. God damn, someone's got money. Okay. Yeah, that's the similar story to what's her name? Park, Yeonmi Park, who was actually friends with C-Milk, I think. I think most people, when they escape from North Korea, go through China. Because it's the easiest route, right? Because it's the only way across land that isn't the DMZ that they're going to be able to escape. But it's pretty fucked. Yeonmi Park, great book, by the way. Yeah. I know things about her that I can't share publicly. Still a fucked up story, though. It'd be so interesting to meet this person, this Chi-Chi, Hanguo Chi-Chi. A North Korean. Like most, I shouldn't say most, a lot of North Korean people that you see escape, I'm not saying this is the case with this Hanguo Chi-Chi person, or anyone specific, but like a lot of them are actually very wealthy North Koreans, like higher up in the social world or in the government, and they're able to escape due to high levels of connection. So like there's a good chance that she was like a well-off North Korean, and that's how she was able to escape. You know, like farmers who are starving to death in North Korea don't really get to escape, because it's not just a matter of running across the border into China. You know, that'll only get you so far, because once you're there, you need to be able to have contacts to be able to escape China. Because, okay, now you're in China, but you have no passport, no documentation, no one knows who you are. Hanguo Chi-Chi might outbid Skidler for the cat. Yeah. Um, but anyways, yes, there's all kinds of steps. And then also, like, a lot of these sort of companies or organizations that are set up to help you escape China and North Korea are actually just fronts. You know, like they are set up to recapture escaped North Koreans and send them back into North Korea, which would be incredibly sad. So I'm not saying that that's the case for Hangua Qiqi, but I wouldn't be surprised if she was like a very well-off North Korean that's still not to say that being a well-off North Korean is good, but I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, it seems like she's a streamer. Because also, like, you know, you hear reports of like what life is like in North Korea and how everyone's starving to death and how there's like it's just a constant famine. You look at this person, she doesn't look, you know, like someone like Yeonmi Park. Like if you look at the size of Yeonmin Park, she's tiny. She's like 4 foot tall or something, right? It's kind of hard to see via video, but I wonder what like opinions the Koreans are the best looking of the regions of Asia.
我真的没有可以穿的了。
我不会这样子。
Okay, interesting opinion. You know I love my polls. Let's see if I can't do a poll. This is so fucking misogynist. We'll say people to make it not misogynist. Which country has the best looking people? Not just men, not just women. So Korea will be the first. Now I had a Korean girlfriend back in the day, so I know what you mean. But my problem with Korea is that plastic surgery is so common there. I can never tell if I'm looking at it like a real person. Okay, I can only do 4 options for a poll: Korea, China, Taiwan, and Japan. I'm gonna switch out because Taiwan, ethnically speaking, are similar to China in a lot of ways. Because China, if you look at the region, like there is actually a difference between southern Chinese people and northern Chinese people. Let's throw like, I don't know, Thailand in there. Japanese, Koreans, Chinese, Lao, Thailand, Philippines, Hong Kong, Malaysia. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, so it's hard with Koreans because they all get like the double eyelid surgery. I remember when I went to Korea to visit my girlfriend's family at the time, we went through this mall and like everyone had bandages on their face from like surgery and stuff. Lauren says, I think there's a selection bias there. The average Korean is not that pretty in my opinion, although pretty people obviously exist. Yeah, I mean, that's what the poll is for though, right? And it's interesting when you move to Asia, you're able to tell the difference between different Asians, which is hard to do if you haven't lived here. Like this person, Hangua Qiqi, you can definitely tell she's Korean, right? Like the sort of facial structure.
昨天嘛就不会弄了嘛。
Let's see if I can get with Koreans, like the thin eyelids, the sort of sharper features, the thinner lips, plus the makeup style is very Korean. Northern Chinese people are usually a lot taller, so the girls there are like kind of typical Western girl type height. They're also, you know, they're gifted by God, we'll say, in that region. Southern Chinese people have a lot more of like a Vietnamese type look to them. Japanese people, you can kind of tell because they often have like rounder features. They have like rounder faces. Plus I find, is it racist for me to say that I found that Japanese people have teeth that aren't like other Asian countries? Like when I lived in China, a lot of people had messed up teeth, don't get me wrong, but a lot of people just had like naturally straight, normal teeth. Whereas in Japan, like they pay very little attention to the way their teeth look. I don't know if that's a cultural thing or what. But yeah. Interesting opinion. He thinks Koreans have the better looking people. So far, we've got Thailand and Japan in dead tied. I am surprised Japan got that many votes. I didn't think Japanese people were going to get that many votes at all. And I wonder if China has gotten so few votes because of political reasons. Because let me tell you, I lived in China for a number of years. There were some hot-ass Chinese girls out there. Hands down Koreans without surgery. I don't know about that, my man. There used to be this oh, sorry, that was my phone. I gotta turn this to silent. It's from Glory. I heard someone bought my cat. Better sold him at a good price because he's fancy as fuck. Let me send her a message. I'll send her a voice message so you guys can be... Yeah, I'm doing a live stream right now. I got, let me just have a look here real quick. I got 45 people watching. I got 2 bids. Highest is from Skidla at $50 US. So I'm seeing if anyone else is going to buy the cat. They haven't even really seen the cat properly. So a $50 bid for your cat is pretty impressive. That's unseen so far. But I got to make money, so I'm selling your cat online. I apologize. I hope your trip to Japan is doing well. Everyone in the chat says hi. Feel free to give me a call, by the way, if you want to be a part of the live stream. Sorry, fake account says, there used to be the tiny Japanese dolls I've seen, a stewardess. Gorgeous. Okay. I've had a Taiwanese stepmom and a Japanese stepmom, both gorgeous. Okay, you're into that kind of porn, eh? Steven says, I think there's a selection bias here. The average Korean is not that pretty, in my opinion, although pretty people obviously... Oh, did I read that already? I think I did, yeah. I think Thai people, on average, have more beautiful people at all wealth levels. However, if Japanese, Koreans, or Chinese is pretty, there is usually the most beautiful looking. Yeah, that's the thing. Again, in my opinion, yeah. You know, like living in Taiwan, living in China, like you'll see some drop dead gorgeous people walking around. It's almost weird how more you see in other, like, no offense to British people, okay? I know, Stephen, you just donated 5 British pounds, and I apologize for dunking on your country, but I went to the UK a few years ago for Christmas. Let me tell you, chat, okay? I was shocked. I was in Liverpool, okay? This is northern England. And I couldn't understand why all of the women in the UK were orange. Okay, they have orange women in the UK. And the way that they dress was almost like a parody. I couldn't believe it. Crack on Prozzy, yeah. I honestly thought it was a joke. I thought maybe it was like a festival or like Halloween or something. Alan took me for a night out in Liverpool, which was very fun, by the way. And, you know, we didn't do anything crazy. We sat in a couple of pubs, visited some places that he used to go, the Cavern Club where the Beatles used to play. It was really cool. And I really appreciate Alan for showing me around. And we didn't go too crazy. It was just like, you know, we would people watch, just take in the atmosphere, see what life was like in Liverpool. And I honestly saw one pretty woman, and she was from Vancouver. Every other woman was like a fucking Oompa Loompa. I couldn't fucking believe it. And it was winter, okay? It was cold as hell. Like, the UK isn't as cold as England at all, but it's still cold because it's on the coast, right? They've got, the ocean is right there. So it's windy and it gets very cold. But the women don't give a fuck. And we have women like that in Canada too, where they'll wear a winter jacket, but they'll have like a mini skirt on and high heels. It looks ridiculous. But in the UK, it was like, they would wear see-through clothes. I'm not joking. Their top and their skirt completely see-through. And I was just like, how are women dressed like this? I couldn't fucking believe it. And they have this thing in Liverpool called the Scouse Brow. So if you're unfamiliar with UK culture, people from Liverpool are called Scousers. Okay, they speak Scouse, which is the name of their accent. They also have a dish called Scouse, which is like a stew. And then if you call it blind scouse, it's the stew but with no meat. And the Scouse Brow is when the women paint on their eyebrows, but fucking massive. And it looked hilarious. And I came to the conclusion that I've been so spoiled living in China and Taiwan by like just how naturally beautiful women can be here. When I went to the UK, I was like, this is fucking hilarious. This is I don't understand. I don't get it. It was hilarious to me. The sun's out here, and they dress like an egg wearing a couple of plastic bands. Like a hard-boiled egg, it just gets all tucked in there. That's fucking hilarious. There's a clear north-south and class divide on the orange people. Yeah, that's what I heard. Like, northern British people like to be orange. Yeah. Why do you think I miss Taiwan? One of the reasons, says Steven. Yeah, exactly. Hi, this is Hanguo Chi Chi. Holy shit, Hanguo Chi Chi's in the chat. What the fuck? How did we wrangle that? How did we wrangle that, chat? She's here. What's up? Ni hao, Hanguo Chi Chi. I don't speak fucking Korean. I guess she speaks Chinese, doesn't she? Annyeonghaseyo! I know a little bit of Korean, okay, because I had a Korean girlfriend. I remember chopsticks is chokorok. So if you need chopsticks, you say chokorok 주세요. I honestly, no offense to Koreans, and I hate saying this now that she's in the chat, but I find Korean like one of the most annoying languages in Asia. The way it sounds, you know, its intonation, it's very like whiny, so to speak. What other Korean do I know? I know Sibal, and I know Saranghae, and I know an airplane is bihingi. And I used to know what a boat was, but now I forget. Jenda, yeah, what's up? Yes, there's a point in natural beauty, totally agree. Scouse is Nordic, yeah. I watch Chris and Yeji on YouTube. Yeji is gorgeous South Korean gal, never heard of her. Shit, we got Hanguo Chi Chi in the chat. Very cool. Hanguo Chi Chi, 你好。我们在看你们的，我觉得就是你的影片。
哦，客家话比较多。
可是我只听得懂，但是不会。
那你是客家人吗？
是啊。
And her Chinese is really good. And she's hanging out with a Korean apparently. But yeah, 韩国七七，如果我想跟你一起拍影片，我想问你很多的问题，可以吗？
啊，我只听得懂，不会讲。
But yeah, cool. I can't believe we wrangled her in the chat. Very interesting. We got Hanguo Chi Chi. That's so cool. I wonder if she's going to outbid anyone for the cat. I don't even know how to explain. I can explain it in Chinese, but it's not going to make any sense that I'm selling the cat. And the cat's not mine. Skidlet, you guys should do a video together sometimes. Totally agree. Okay, let's end the poll. Korea wins at 35%. So Koreans have the most beautiful people, apparently, followed by Japan at 26%, Thailand at 22%, China in last place. Wow. Yeah. So, there we go. I'll end the poll, and I'm going to start a new one really quick. In just a second here. So yeah, 下次一起合作呀。好啊，我好期待。你可以加我的 IG 吗？ There we go. You know what's crazy? I haven't spoken Chinese. I haven't spoken to anyone in such a long time. Like English or Chinese. This is the first time I've spoken in like a week. 不过我人现在不在台湾。真的吗？你回来了吗？回来吗？还是 Where does she live? Does anyone know? Populations that evolve on a somewhat isolated island have a smaller gene pool, hence the crooked teeth in England and Japan. But I mean, I don't know, because England, they get a lot of aren't they have like a lot of mixing of, you know, like the Norse, French, you know, all that kind of shit. Do an episode on Taiwan street fried rice. Yum. Hey, nothing wrong with my teeth. It's true. I've seen. It's nice hearing you speak Chinese. My Chinese is shit. I haven't practiced in so long. Okay, new poll. End poll. There we go. Oh no, fuck, Japan won. You guys snuck in a couple of votes for Japan. God damn. Okay, let's go. Start poll. Should I collab with Hanguo Chi? Does my, I keep forgetting, does my keyboard have traditional on here? I think this computer only has, on my Mac I've got traditional characters, but this one I've only got the simplified one down. All right, new poll. There you go. How the fuck did we get Hanguo TT on here? Which one of you guys wrangled her? Let me have a quick look at her channel one more time. I'll forgot to share the screen. So she's got 18.7, 1.4K is crazy. She has to daily stream, like all the time. See how many videos she's doing a week? Because that's a crazy work ethic. 2 days ago, 6 days ago, 13. So it's like 2 a week, say? 1, 2, 3, 4. It's kind of, it's not the same all the time. It's a mystery, we'll never know. We see your YouTube plaque award. Oh, that old thing? Yeah. So yeah, it looks like she's made a bunch of videos and then hid them. Her first one, oh, is an actual video.
我好像做梦了。
打给我，我是韩狗七七，你认识我吗？
我不认识你。
但是跟我交朋友吗？
She's got
从
purple
现在
eyes.
开始，我们是朋友，所以你需要听我的话，好吗？好，大家。
Sorry, what the fuck did she just say?
但是跟我交朋友吗？从现在开始，我们是朋友，所以
She said pungyo, right? Not poyo. I'm hoping
你
she
需要
said
听我的
pungyo.
话，好吗？好，大家，我终于可以去台湾了！哇！
That's her first video she's got posted, but I think she's deleted a bunch. Pogos Blitz, it's Brandon. We met 9 years ago in Zhengzhou. Totally different place now, my dude. Shit, dude, I remember. Are you still in Taiwan? Yeah, I sure am. Didn't we shoot a video, but I never released it together? I remember. I think I still have a picture that we took in Zhengzhou, I think. Because we also met in Shenzhen, didn't we? I think I remember. Oh man, it sucks she's not in Taiwan. Does she... I wonder if she's coming back. I asked her, but she didn't reply. It's probably because she doesn't speak English, and that's okay. She already speaks Korean and Chinese. I'm super surprised at these views. The thing is, like, Taiwanese people really like seeing other countries experience their culture, and she's hitting all the right notes here. You know, trying street food, different massages, dumplings, all this kind of that's a great thumbnail. I am shocked she doesn't get more views. And the other thing I'm surprised by is that she doesn't get... People are saying she's North Korean, but she doesn't show that really. Like, all of the flags in her thumbnails are South Korean. Whereas the North Korean angle would be like a cheat code to views, and she doesn't use that at all, which is really interesting. Is your WeChat dead on Bar Street? Helen's, hi, yeah. I just talked about Helen's on the last live stream. Is your WeChat dead now? No, my WeChat's still up, I think. Are you still in Zhengzhou? There's no fucking way you still live in Zhengzhou. Oh, Glory sent a message. Better be higher than with all that tins and lifestyle I've given him. I'm paying you 5,000 NT for looking after him, so better be more than what I'm gonna sue your fat ass for. For more money than 2 dickers. Shit. Okay, I'm adding on a tax to your. I'm adding on a tax to the cat fee. Glory's suing me for selling her cat, so you know, keep those live streams, keep those super chats coming, so I can afford the bill. Okay, let's see what the 15% said I shouldn't do a collab with Hangul. I thought that was gonna be a slam dunk. Yes. Dude, you still live in Zhengzhou? What the fuck, dude? Almost 11 years. How the fuck do you still live in Zhengzhou? I also thought it was crazy low views for the effort. Dude, she has a crazy work ethic, puts lots of time each day into editing. Yeah, I'm surprised she doesn't get more views. I think if she worked in that North Korean angle, she would get way more views. She's just added me on Instagram, so I'll chat with her in a bit. Wow, okay. Yeah, who said no? What the fuck? Steven's on point. So, okay, this is good. So we got Brandon in the chat. Now, I met Brandon, fuck, what did you say? 11 years ago? Long time ago in Zhengzhou, the city I used to live in. But when I met Brandon, I don't think I lived in Zhengzhou at the time. I was living in Huizhou, but I went back to Henan to visit, and that's where I met him. And he still lives in China, which is fucked. And today's live stream is about living here. It's my home, bro. I told you that I love it. It's totally different now that the bar street is dead and way more places to go. So you'd say it's improved? Since I left? Because again, part of the problem with me telling people what life is like in China is that it's changed so often, which is why I have all of these am I still showing my screen? Yeah. I have all of these tabs open, so I wanted to go through a bunch of them with you guys. Like, for example, some people will say it's really good, some people will say it's bad. Like this person says, my boyfriend was born in Yitang, Hubei. He came to Canada 2 years ago, hated living in China. Got a high Gaokao score. Gaokao, by the way, is the test that they do in high school to see what kind of university you go to. It's a very stressful time of year for students. Got into good, famous journalism and film university since it was his passion. Graduated university, couldn't find a job, got desperate, moved all the way to Shenzhen to work for an awful construction company that made him work 10 to 12 hours a day. Hated having to be friends with his coworkers and boss all the time. Hated being forced to drink baijiu. Worked long hours for 8,000 yuan a month. Sufficient, but not enough for long-term living. He came to Canada and did culinary arts, even though it's a useless program, just because he needed out a life like that. Jobs are hard to find, and pennies are pinched. So, you know, you get all kinds of different views. You obviously love Zhengzhou. I really liked Zhengzhou when I was there, but when I saw you, Brandon, when I went back, it wasn't the same when I lived there. It kind of lost that sort of, I talked about this in the last live stream, but it lost that kind of edge that I really liked about Zhengzhou. Tenfold. I said no to not collaborating. Okay. It's much better and cleaner. Do a live stream with Brendan, that would be really interesting. Yeah, but Brendan lives in fucking China, and I can't go there. And there was the gal from China, a co-teacher you had on. Hope she's doing well. I think she traveled with you to the UK. Yeah, that was Miss Joe. Hey, I'm down with that. I don't know why he didn't release the video we did. Probably because back then I was awkward off camera. No, I don't know why. I've probably still got the footage somewhere. I might still have I'm not entirely sure if I have the footage. I remember I couldn't release a bunch of videos because I used to edit on CMOK's computer, and then he formatted his computer and I lost a bunch of footage, so maybe that's what happened to it. But I'll have a look through. I've got a NAS system here that my buddy Margot hooked me up with, and I've still got my Chinese footage on there, so I'll have a look and see if it's still there, but I don't know. I'll come to Taiwan. Fuck yeah, dude, you're more than welcome. Come on down. I think you'll like it here a lot. The West still has that edge. Do you mean west of Zhengzhou or western Zhengzhou? Because I visited Luoyang and I loved Luoyang. I thought it was great. The average Joe, justice for Wang Wang now. I don't know what Wang Wang is. I think you lived in Tainan too. No, I never lived in Tainan. I've been to Tainan a bunch of times, but I've never lived there. I don't know if I could live there, you know? I liked your video of the apartment you had that had a unique kitchen. I think it was in Tainan. No, I never lived in Tainan. So yeah, these are all different stories of what's life is like there. I've got a bunch of other stuff up here as well we'll go through. How far are we into this live stream? An hour and a half? Not bad. Western Zhengzhou and Luoyang. I'm finally fucking leaving EF. I will go to public school. Jesus Christ, dude, I cannot believe you still work there. I'm shocked at people that are able to live in China for that long. Like, I've said this before, but living in China is like a true test of your character, and it really wears on you. Like, you leave China a different fucking person, honestly. It's like going to fucking jail or going into the goddamn military. Not in like, you know, not to compare, not stolen valor or anything like that, but like, just because how different your life is and the way that you view things changes so much, and how much you're able, like how much shit you're able to take and how much you're able to adapt, you change so much. And living in China for that long has to do something to you. Speaking Chinese helps a lot. Yeah, I mean, obviously it does, but like, I mean, Henan for 11 years, dude, like, Guangdong, maybe. Shanghai, Beijing, I could see it. Henan is fucked, dude. Especially, I mean, Zhengzhou is a big city, but still. You know, and I lived in Kaifeng for a long time, and Kaifeng is not a place I could live in for any longer than a year. Zhengzhou had its thing. I loved my apartment when I lived in Zhengzhou. It wasn't even that nice, but it was just like, there's something about Chinese apartments that I kind of liked. Not all apartments, but there's something about that apartment in particular that I liked. I like the idea of like just taking the elevator downstairs, going to like a, you know, it's a gated community, but there's all kinds of little restaurants around it and stuff, and I kind of enjoyed that. But I'm curious to know like what your life is like in Zhengzhou. That's crazy that you're in the chat. Bro, you know, most people in Henan are cool. It's mostly the people that keep me here. I mean, the cool people are cool, but dude, there's a lot of uncool people in fucking Henan. There's a lot of crazy ass shit that happens in Henan. But again, it's changed a lot, so who knows? But yeah, I guess most of the people that I knew in Henan were my students, my university students, and they were cool. But I met a lot of people that were like just fucking crazy people, especially the older generation, you know, like because Henan was so poor in, you know, in the 90s, people that grew up in that generation are just like a different breed from the younger generation who never had to go through that, you know. But yeah, give me some like tidbits. I think everyone's interested to hear what your life is like there. But let me skip on, because there's all kinds of other shit that I wanted to look at with life. And like this video is fucking hilarious. Kid becomes instant meme after mom's street brawl. And the reason I found this, I haven't watched it yet, but if it's a street brawl like the brawls I've seen in China, it's a good look into like, I don't know, this kind of part of China is fucking hilarious. Like, so adultery, just as a precursor to this video, I don't know if it has anything to do with this. It looks like a car accident from the thumbnail. But like adultery is incredibly popular in both China and Taiwan, actually. And it's not uncommon for like the Chinese wife to find the xiaosan. Xiaosan means little three, which is like the side piece in the relationship, and physically beat the shit out of her. There's so many videos of it, and they're fun to watch. Okay, so Brennan, yeah, it's mostly the people that fucked me over were girls, but yeah, I know you were in Kaifeng. We talked about this. My Chinese teacher was there. I mostly hang out with younger people. Oh, okay. Adultery is a normal part of the culture. It's disgusting. Yeah, it's super normal. Do you have any fucked up stories of like girls fucking you over? I'm trying to think if I had any Chinese girls that were... I don't think I had any Chinese girls that fucked me over. I mean, you know, you don't have to go really to do personal, but just interesting stuff. So yeah, let's check out this video. It looks like a car accident. She's gifted. What do we got? A BMW, a pink pearlescent BMW that got rear-ended. God damn. Fuck! I'm not sharing the screen. Sorry, guys. I'm fucking dumb. Sorry. That's embarrassing. Someone's gonna yell at me. But yeah, kid becomes instant meme after mom street brawl. Can you share the video? Yeah, I got it. Sorry. Jesus Christ. Hair pulling? Classic. Wait till one of them gets dragged down to the ground all limp. Happens all the time. Again, haven't watched it, but it happens every street fight. Just girls grab each other's hair and there's always like slapping involved. Oh shit, a kid's getting out. Oh my god. That one's pretty tamed. But I've seen so many videos. The woman in the dress is the one wearing sunglasses, and the kid is just kid. Sunglasses, are you kidding me, old hag? Dress takes out her phone dress. The dumbass, she came at me. She came banging on my window, and then oh, they're translating what's happening here. Dress starts attacking sunglasses, grabs her hair, and stops her from fighting back. You fucking cussed me out and hit me? Who the fuck do you think? You talk shit about my son. You dare insult my son. Say it again. The person filming drives away saying sorry. Kid gets out. Are you mentally sick or what? How dare you talk shit about my mom? The kid. Yes. Oh, that's funny. The monkey meme. Fuck, I closed the wrong thing. I know what I closed, so it's okay. I'll open that up later. Excellent play-by-play, yeah. Fucking great. So many of these fights happen in China, so many. But it's mostly like, that's a car accident. Again, most of them happen from adultery, you know? These comments are brutal. But yeah, the rest is just memes, and then some of them will tie into life in China. How does... Okay, yeah. Taiwanese people, when someone drinks their water on the MRT or doesn't recycle properly. Taiwanese people, when they run a red light, nearly kill a pedestrian. Facts! What was the word I learned earlier in the chat? Based. Yeah. Are you a Taiwan citizen now? No, I'm not a Taiwan citizen. Becoming a Taiwanese citizen is a pain in the ass. I have my permanent residency, so I have no real reason to get citizenship. I mean, it would allow me to vote, among other things, but I don't really give a shit, so I'm cool with permanent residency. I know Marco, who I'm not sure if is still in the chat, is trying to get his citizenship, but I don't know. But yeah, this is accurate. There's a weird like disconnect between like the laws in Taiwan, you know? Like they will jump on you for this exact thing, drinking on the MRT, not recycling. But then other stuff, like again, that story that I closed, I'll bring that up right now, of it was an Austrian tourist jumps into Love River. God damn it, where's the... Here's a video.
接下来关心天气的动态，因为这个青霞红台一生成，气象署就发布了海上的台风警报。今天晚间到人落水，到场才发现说是一名奥地利籍的男子。
So basically, Love River is a popular river in Kaohsiung, and if you've spoken to anyone who's from Kaohsiung over the age of like 40, they'll tell you that river was fucking disgusting. It was full of like industrial pollution, shit, like trash, whatever. It was a cesspool. They've cleaned it up a lot since, but it's still gross. And this Austrian tourist, I guess, was like drinking along the side of the river. They have like different, I don't know, little bars or whatever along the river. And to cool off, he was drunk and jumped in the river.
他在游泳。虽然他连连道歉说不知道不能够下水，但是已经触法了，还是被带回侦办。
然后所以。
警方赶到爱河边，以为有人落水，结果发现居然是有外籍学生在游泳。
There's a river, no pool, not a pool. 现在在现场。
It's a river, not a pool. So yeah, it's illegal apparently to swim in this river, and you might get fined for it.
是外国人在游泳，没有落水情势。
远警用英文沟通，男学生也赶紧上岸，穿好衣物，女朋友在旁边相当着急。他们是来自奥地利的留学生，在高雄读书。24号凌晨1点多，两人在
Oh, he's not a tourist. He's a student studying in Kaohsiung.
在爱河边喝酒，因为觉得高雄天气热，一时兴起。22岁男大生跳下水消暑，女朋友则在岸边陪伴，直到警方到场，这才发现自己已经违法。虽然在
So yeah, he thought, because it's hot in Kaohsiung, he'll go swimming in the river. Someone saw it, thought he was committing suicide, because jumping into a fucking river in Taiwan is tantamount to committing suicide, so they called the police.
知情的状况下触法，但还是得被带回派出所。
To go to the police station.
外国人误把爱河当成游泳池，警方事后函报市府观光局裁处，依法开罚5000元以上25000元以下罚款。
依高雄市爱河水域管理自治条例第13条规定进行裁处。
虽然先前市府也规划环河渔民政策，但目前也只有部分区域开放符合规定的非动力浮具，依旧禁止个人任意下水游泳。
爱河边一样啊，内地啊，不一样嘛。
因为整治了之后是河流比较干净，大家也是不太方便吧，就是因为也有这个危险性嘛。
Yeah, so a lot of Taiwanese people consider that dangerous, and it's just a weird rule. He snapped in the heat. Yeah, the heat broke him. 25,000 NT fine. Yeah, it could go up to 50,000 actually. Chinese society is more corrupt than OF culture in the West. Paying for girls to drink, dancing on Douyin, and having like 10 girlfriends or boyfriends at the same time is common. I can't deny this. Fuck, I should go to Taiwan. I'll never have that here in mainland. Yeah. Love River is a nice area. It is nice, like, Love River is a nice area to sit around. I would never fucking go swimming in it. Not because it's dangerous because you'll drown, like a lot of Chinese people think, but it's because it's fucking gross. In Switzerland, we can swim in pretty much every river. Same in Austria. Yeah, I mean, same in Canada, really. But it's such a different attitude here. Like, you absolutely cannot go swimming in rivers here. Have you seen the town witch yet in Kaohsiung? They got a white strip line, ashes, all wear black. I have not seen that. I don't know what that is. Aya, are you watching from Switzerland? That's so cool. I didn't even know I had any Swiss viewers. But it's crazy. But then, yeah, so it's like a potentially $50,000 fine. But I'll go get in my car, my non-existent car, and kill someone, and it's like a lesser fine, you know? There's weird things like that. They will blame you for not watching out for cars. Yeah. But, oh, this is another meme I saw. HKers when a person speaks Mandarin to them, but when the person says they're from Taiwan. Lately in Taiwan, I gotta fucking order some food here in a second. I am getting lightheaded. I haven't eaten all goddamn day. I've been talking non-stop for the last hour and 40 minutes. And watching those videos is nice to get a break from that. So I'm gonna order some food in a second. But anyways, I've been seeing a lot more Hong Kong people in Taiwan lately, like since China took over. But Hong Kong and Taiwan have a really interesting relationship with one another. But I'll stay on stream. Yep, watching from Switzerland. That's so cool. I'm gonna order something from Uber Eats so I can stay on stream. I don't live in like the city center, so the options are pretty limited. Any recommendations? Put them in the chat. Taiwan people I can understand much better than countryside Henan people. Oh, dude, countryside people in Henan barely speak fucking Mandarin Chinese, dude. They all have their own dialects. So when they speak Mandarin Chinese, it's like really heavily accented. I couldn't fucking understand anyone in the countryside of Henan. Every little city like Pingdingshan, Kaifeng, Luoyang, like Zhoukou, all those little towns, they all have their own dialect. It's fucking impossible to understand those people. What is this? Fried rice? This looks pretty damn good. I'll get some Chao Fan. Get some Chao Fan with some other stuff. This is exciting. I've never eaten on a live stream before yet. Whoops. They only have like Chao Fan and some weird peanut stuff. They also have Gao Li Cai, but I don't know if I want Gao Li Cai. And some soup. I'm not much of a soupman. A hot soup, perfect for the weather. Yeah, exactly. What is your guys' consensus on soup? I know we're getting off topic here, but I'm not much of a soupman. Okay, let's see. What's the delivery fee gonna be? $20 fucking dollars. Whatever. This was paid for by Steven. I appreciate that. Boom. Uber Eats done. I'm not much of a soupman. I don't really like soup, and everyone loves soup. Things that were great eating there: 1, octopus; 2, snails. Yuck. Octopus is pretty good though. Snails, not really for me. Anyways, let the memes keep going, because again, these memes do relate to living in both Taiwan and China, and I thought it would make for good conversation. Doesn't get any more Taiwanese than this. Let me make sure you guys can actually see what I'm looking at. Trained his dog to carry his milk tea. Hell yeah, brother. And the dog sits in the back of the scooter. One interesting thing that shocks a lot of foreigners is like dogs don't normally sit on scooters like that. That scooter's probably parked, although I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't. But they actually sit where your feet go. So they train their dogs to sit there. I've had a dog, actually when I lived in China, I was dating this girl. She was really hot. And she had this giant dog, like a giant white dog. And we went to the park together, and she was like, "You want to take the dog?" And I was like, "Okay." So I took the scooter, and it sat by my feet, and it was really fun. It was really weird to drive around with a dog. Soup can be incredible if the broth is made well. However, very easy to come across mediocre soup. Yeah, I'm okay with soup and noodles, you know. Yeah, but New England, I just don't really like, you know, soup on its own. I never order it. And fucking Brandon lives in Henan. He gets to eat all the fucking Henan Hui Mian he wants. Henan Hui Mian is not only one of my favorite dishes from China, it's probably one of my favorite dishes of all time. I fucking love it. Heard of the latest animal abuse story in China? Justice for Wang Wang. We were just talking about that earlier in the chat. You can go back in the chat and watch that. Taiwan is China, but isn't communist China as it is today. Taiwan is China, but it isn't communist China as it is today. That's my response when people ask me if Taiwan is China here in China. They still get rage baited. It's hilarious. Do people actually ask you that though? Like, Taiwan almost never came up in conversation when I lived there. It came up like a handful of times, but it wasn't like a common, you're eating barbecue? Nice. Chinese barbecue's fucking good. I like it better than Japanese barbecue, which is what they eat mostly here in Taiwan. Is it still hard to get delicious cheeseburgers in Taiwan? No, not really. I recommended this in the last live stream, but if you go to, the fuck is it called? Taihu. Taihu's a brewery. They have one in Taichung and I think a few in Taipei. They make a smash burger. If you're into smash burgers, it's fucking good, and I recommend that. Recently, it's a huge thing. Really? Like the whole Taiwan conversation? Dude, I would love to have you on a video. It's interesting stuff. Like I remember, like I came up with some students of mine. We were chatting. I was telling them that this was when I lived in Henan, and I was thinking about going on vacation. And I was like, yeah, I kind of want to get out of the country. I might go see Taiwan or something. I never ended up doing it, but it was just in the comment. They were like, what do you mean that's still in China? And I was like, well, not really, since Taiwan's like its own country. And they were like, no, it isn't. Like it wasn't even up for debate, you know. Like they weren't even aware at the time. This is again 10 plus years ago that people thought of Taiwan as another country. Mossburger? Nah, not my thing. I don't like rice buns. Thanks, Taihu Yummy Smash Burgers. Yeah. When you type it into Google Maps, make sure it's in Pinyin, so it's TUHU. If you can stream WeChat, I can do video. Or Facebook. I think I can stream... I could just use OBS, right? So that should work. Or dude, you're more than welcome to come visit Taiwan, dude. I think you'd really like Taiwan. It's great. You don't need no VPN. People drive better here, though. I mean, they still don't drive great, but it's better than China, at least when I lived there. The pollution's not as bad. Still bad, but not as bad. The people are cool as shit. It's all good down here, man. The burger patties in Taiwan, Moss Burgers, are pretty good, though, for the chain. I don't know. I used to like their regular burgers, like not the rice burgers, but I almost never get Moss Burger anymore. I'm a McDonald's man myself. I am a fucking fiend for McDonald's. The cat. You guys want a cat update? All right. Do you use chopsticks? Yeah. You must have watched my members only video. But you're not a member, so how do you know about that reference? Here's a cat update. Do we have any more offers on the cat? He's been chilling there for the last hour. Just lying down, relaxing, hanging out. Seems like a happy cat. I don't know. He doesn't do anything. He just like sits there all day long. And cat. So what bids did we get? We got $5 from, or £5 from Steven, and we had $50 from Skidla. I don't think anyone's gonna outbid Skidla. That's a fucking high bid. But then I also need money for when Glory sues me for selling her cat. But yeah, fuck, I changed WeChat. I can't find you. I wanted to send you a message. Show me some pics. You have a cat? I don't have a cat. This is Glory's cat, my friend, my Taiwanese friend. She's visiting Japan, so I'm cat sitting. But I'm also perpetually poor. I've been poor since I reached adulthood, and so now I'm selling my friend's cats online. I won't be back to claim him until December. Well, I guess I'll have to charge you a holding fee. But yeah, I don't know. Do you have Line, Brandon? If you have Line, I'm sure we could work something out. What do we got left on the food? We got another little while to wait. Oh man, that's good. Oh shit, I just opened Photoshop. Close Photoshop. God damn it, Photoshop, go away. Close this as well. Say Chinese Taipei one more time. And it's Tsai Ing-wen with a fucking rocket launcher. That's brilliant. I'll just crash out with Glory for some Japanese trinkets or something. Do it, dude. The cat has stayed with you for quite a long time. No. Glory left on Thursday, and I've got him until tomorrow. I love Burger King. I'm not a huge fan of Burger King. I ate it a bunch in China because it was like one of the few like fast food chains we could get. And it was just something interesting. God damn, I ordered fried rice from quite a ways away. I didn't mean to do that. Do you guys have chomps in the grocery store? What are chomps? What is that? I'll Google it. I better not be Googling something naughty. Chomps meat sticks are sold in many grocery stores, including Trader Joe's, Walmart, Target. What the fuck is that? Oh, like a, is it like jerky? Beef jerky? Pork jerky? Is that what that is? I've never even heard of these, so no, I don't think we have them. I'm a big fan of beef jerky. What's the really popular beef jerky brand? Jack Link's, yeah. I'll eat a whole bag of that fucking easy. And we don't get that. We get pork jerky in Taiwan, but it's not the same. It's sweet. That's like beef jerky, yeah. So, actually, if you go to Macau and get beef jerky or pork jerky or whatever, it's very good. I love Macanese pork jerky. But a lot of the jerky here is different. I don't find it as good. I find it to be really, I mean, obviously it's jerky, so it's going to be processed, but the stuff here, like it's barely even meat by the time they're done with it. You know what I mean? Same thing with sausages. I don't mind Taiwanese sausage, but it's like sweet, which I don't like. It's not like Western sausage, like kielbasa or pepperettes or any of the stuff that you might like to eat, or like currywurst or something. It's not like that. You'll like chomps? Buy them singularity versus the bag. Send me some, homie. I'd fucking, dude, I'd clear a bag of beef jerky in seconds, dude. I'll get lined just for you. Message me your ID. Okay. I'll do that after the stream, though. I'll find you on WeChat if I can still find you on WeChat. I'm guessing you're still Brandon on there. Well, then again, if I can find you on WeChat, we won't need line. We'll see. But I'm not going to do that now. I didn't eat at Mossburger. Who is this? Distortion Boy 666. I didn't eat at Mossburger. They only had these touch screens to order. They don't switch to English, though. Didn't want to create a line while using my phone to translate. Dude, I fucking know your pain. I know exactly what that feels. If I feel like I can't navigate some stupid fucking screen, I'll just leave the store, because like I feel so bad for all the people waiting for my dumb ass to wade through a menu I can't read, you know? But that's why things like Uber Eats is so great, you know? I'm lucky that I moved to China before DD really came up. Like DD is their version of Uber Eats. And when I lived there, they kind of had it, but it hadn't really taken off yet. So you still had to go to a restaurant and order food in person so you could really practice your Chinese. But nowadays you really don't. You can just order your food off DD like every single day. And it's the same in Taiwan. You can order off Uber Eats every single day. You never have to go to a restaurant and worry about it. It's fucking great. But it does mean it stops you from exploring new places. It stops you from practicing Mandarin. It stops you from meeting people, which sucks, but like, it's also super convenient. Do you guys have Walmart? No, we have Walmart in China, but not in Taiwan. I lived above a Walmart, actually. If you watched my last live stream, I went to my old apartment in Huizhou, and there was a Walmart there. Me and Seamilk rescued a turtle from Walmart once, because in China, I don't know if they still do this, maybe Brandon can let us know, but they used to sell these keychains, like and the keychains look like a little plastic ball that had a little bit of water in them, and it had like a soft shell turtle. And then you would buy them for your kid, and your kid would wear the soft-shell turtle on their backpack and take them to work, and then the turtle would die after a couple of days, obviously, because it's sealed inside this thing, you know? So you can't feed it or release it. You'd have to like break open the thing. And me and C-Milk rescued one. We ended up managing to break open the thing, and I bought a little tank for it. And we asked the audience to name the turtle, and you guys named him Dick Pound. I ended up giving that turtle to my American friend, who was also my roommate at the time, and I have no idea what happened to Dick Pound. Oh, watch all your vids. You popped onto my feed. I think YouTube is pushing you. I fucking doubt it. I appreciate you watching my videos. That means a lot. But no, dude, I released a video on Wednesday and it did horribly and it left me depressed for days. If you guys have any content you want to watch, any ideas, let me know. I'll go out and shoot it if you want to. Any ideas, I'd love to. I get comments from people saying like they're surprised that I don't know. I think because like I'll complain about not getting views or not having ideas for videos, and they'll be like, you know, I'm sure there's things around Taiwan that are cool to film and you're just not doing it. And I'm like, well, I wish I knew what that was. I wish I knew what people wanted to see. A lot of people have said moto vlogs, and I enjoy making those. But again, you know, the moto vlogs usually need a topic. They need something for me to talk about to keep it interesting. Having said that, though, just hopping on the bike and riding around and exploring is also fun. But they never get views, because what do you call a video like that, right? Like, exploring on a motorcycle in Taiwan. Like, people aren't going to watch that. People aren't going to click on it. So it's tough. It's a tough game to play, you know? I love this image of Taiyuan. That should be a... I should turn this into a channel member sticker or something. I'll see if I can't figure out how to do that. That's brilliant. Based Taiyuan. There's that word again from 4 years ago, so maybe Marco was right. Based is an old word. I remember when a doctor here in Japan asking me where I come from before coming here to Japan. I said Taiwan, but I saw him write out his form Chinese Taipei. God damn, really? Look at this fucking Chinese bot comment. That woman is going to let every people in Taiwan fight China to the last, just like every terrorist do. And I got 3 upvotes. There'll be so many memes made from this. There wasn't. That person was wrong. Oh, this was interesting. I wanted to go over these too. We're talking about what's life like in China and in Taiwan, and this person has photos taken from my grandparents in the 70s and 80s in China, and I wanted to go over that. I thought it'd be really cool to look at. Vivian Morris, 1214. Hello, Prazi. Hello, Vivian. I hope you're well today. The Average Joe. What the hell? You didn't know based? How do you say based as fuck then? I just didn't know what the word meant. Again, like I've been outside the West, so all these words I don't know. I don't know what they mean. Camping vids. Yeah, I've done camping vids. Those don't really do all that well. I would like to see some videos of interacting with Aboriginals in Hualien East Sides. Oh, interesting. I could probably arrange that. Hualien's so pretty. Go back to the tattoo shop, ask me what cool brands, artists, celebrities, politicians, Amanda pop stars didn't see to be their culture. I mean, I would, but that video did so bad. Like, let's go take a look. Let's have a look at my channel here. $4,000 views in 3 days is horse shit. That's a massive waste of time. That's probably the worst video I've ever shot, actually. As far as I mean, as far as performance is concerned, you know. They got some cool undercover alcohol brewing going on over there, doing their native. Yeah, I have a good contact if you're interested. Yeah, I'd love to shoot that video. You got to be careful though if you're going to be shooting videos about, like, you know, them making their special Aboriginal booze, because a lot of them don't want videos being made for that because they'll get shut down, you know. I know a guy who makes xiaomi jiu in the mountains of Kaohsiung. He doesn't make it. I know a place where they make it, and it's fucking amazing. But they're quite hush-hush about it, so... If you got a tent, go camping gear. Yeah, I thought about like buying a little tent and doing like a solo camping trip on my motorcycle, but it's so fucking hot now. I'd have to do that maybe in the winter. Plans for Tainan videos? Yeah. Again, Tainan, it's all food videos, right? Vivian Morris, thank you. You too, Prozzy. How's it going? You look good when you cut drinking. I thought Taiwanese might like that video. Thank you. Yeah, I feel a lot better since I cut alcohol. I also thought about making a video about like reviewing the last 3 years since I've quit drinking, but then I also don't like making a big deal about not drinking. It feels fucking cringy. Hearing that on lots of channels, some only got 1,000 views over a few days. Yeah, it happens. Here's my line. Anyone can add me. Oh, nice. Anyone can add Brandon online. Have you ever rode a motorcycle to Mount Dakung? Yeah, I did a video not too long ago called "I Fixed My Boring Life." It's a good video. I mean, I think it's a good video. It's just a little vlog, 16,000 views.
So the other day, I was at home doom scrolling on my phone instead of working on videos.
Ride like on any special roads, but I walked up there.
And I came across this Instagram reel that really stuck.
Well, not really. I don't know why in Taiwan people merge onto the highway there.
Hiking for some reason.
Yeah, this is Dakung here. It's pretty.
Today, you can do whatever you
but
like.
it's hot as shit. If you go up there, it's really nice. But man, it's hot.
What would you do? But the reason I ask is like, whatever your answer might be, you know, maybe you'd stay home, spend time with your kids, maybe you'd play that video game, you know.
Yeah, so I went up to Dakung that day. I've been everywhere in Taiwan, really. Like, if you name a place in the chat, there's a good chance I've been there. Taiwan's not big. What are the laws around investigative journalism in Taiwan? Like, if you go film and censor their face, or are you on the hook for everything? I'm not sure. You would definitely have to blur faces, you know? Like, one video I thought would be really cool. Me and Alan both want to kind of shoot this, kind of about the underbelly of Taichung, because the city where I live in is kind of known for its dark side. The whole city is basically run by the mafia, which is true. And it'd be kind of cool to shoot like maybe a mini documentary about it, but you have to be really careful with stuff like that. So, but something like that would be kind of cool. I think it'd be interesting. It's not a side of Taiwan you really get to see very often. But again, because I live here, like that would be a video I would have to shoot and release when I leave, you know? Because like living here, you make that video, you don't want to make the wrong kind of enemies in a place like this. Wow, one of your videos might hit 1 million soon. I mean, I wish, that's fun, that's good. And I wish it was, you know, I've been doing this for so long. The fact that I'm only just hitting 1 million views now after like 10 years of being on YouTube is kind of sad. What views numbers make a video acceptable for you these days? I mean, I don't know. I think if it gets over like, in principle, like over 20, 30,000 views is I'm happy with. However, when it comes to making money, it needs to be well over that. This was another video I was thinking about shooting. If anyone's interested, is the economics of being a YouTuber and how much money you know you make as a YouTuber, and what constitutes a good video, a successful video. Brandon, how do I message you? I don't know, man. I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out probably after the live stream. Good to walk out in training. Why not? Yeah, exactly. So like, for example, let's check, let's look at the low end, okay? I don't know how much information I really want to share here. Let's hide my screen. Like if you think you want to be a YouTuber, wait until I show you this shit. So let's go into analytics. I'll share my screen in just a second. Okay, so my last video got 4.3 thousand views, all right? Garbage, complete waste of time, okay? And for context, to shoot this video is easy. I was at the shop, you know, the tattoo shop with my friends. I had my camera. It took me like 20, 30 minutes to film, whatever. I just found pictures of famous Taiwanese people, showed them, shot it. Went home, cut it, edited it, threw together, did subtitles. It probably took 6 hours to make, okay? That's 6 hours of work. Got me 4,000 views and made me 10 Canadian dollars and got me 4 subscribers. That's hot garbage and a complete waste of time. Like, let me ask you this. In your life, would you work for 6 hours for 10 Canadian dollars? Probably not, right? However, being a YouTuber is a lot like going to the casino. Because some videos do quite well. So let's take a look at like a middle of the road video. A video that I'd say does okay. Here's one, the most emotional video I've ever filmed, which is true. We don't have to watch it, but this video, whoops, forgot to share my screen. This video was filmed for the, I can't remember the name of the organization, but it's like the Taiwan Alzheimer's Association or something. So they basically help Taiwanese people with Alzheimer's. And this couple were such a nice couple. This guy has Alzheimer's and his wife takes care of him. And they were great. And it was a heart-wrenching story and it makes you cry. I shot that 4 years ago, so it's an older video, but it got 47,000 views, which for me is okay. I'm okay with that. I don't know if anyone, if you don't care, you can just let me know and I'll stop talking about this. So let's look at this analytics. 47,000 views, and it made me 183 Canadian dollars. Not bad. It also got me 140 subscribers. Okay. Now you might be thinking 183. Actually, you know what? Let's use a different example because that video was so long ago. I forget how. Oh shit! Got to put stuff on pause. We got a super chat. Vanessa, my homegirl from Australia, 20 Australian dollars. G'day everyone. Here is some Aussie dollars for you. Thank you. So that's a 20 Australian dollar bid for the cat. Vanessa, you're new to the live stream, but I'm cat sitting for Glory, so I've got her cat with me, and now I'm selling her online. So that's your $20 bid. You've already been outbid though. Skidlet's got a $50 bid down there, so you've already been outbid. But maybe Skidlet can have one part of the cat, the majority, and then I can mail the other part of the cat to you. Let me use a different video as an example, something more recent. Let's take. Okay, let's take the Computex video, which was fun. I shot this one with Marco. Okay, so let me run you through what it takes to shoot this, and then at the end, you guys in the chat can tell me, is it worth it? Okay, so for this video, for years, Marco was inviting me to Computex. I never went because I didn't really know what it was, right? To shoot this, I had to go up to Taipei and walk around Computex, and me and Marco walked around for like a couple of hours, and then we went to an after party. So it took me all day to shoot. It wasn't hard to shoot per se. The hardest part was finding a story. So there wasn't really anything technically challenging about the video, but it did take all day. Then I had to go home, upload all of that footage to my computer. And remember, this is a full day's worth. Sorry if I'm not talking right. I haven't eaten all day. I'm getting lightheaded. I got 7 minutes till my fried rice is here. A full day's worth of filming that you have to look through. That's gigabytes and gigabytes and gigabytes and gigabytes and gigabytes and gigabytes and gigabytes of footage you have to look through. That's annoying. That takes all day in itself because, again, you have to rewatch your day. It's a little bit faster because, you know, I've done this for so long I can take mental notes of the interesting parts I want in the video. cut it up, you know, find music, add it. For example, there's a part here where it's nighttime in Taipei. I wanted to find the right music for this part. Ah, fuck me, Steam, go away.
It's gonna be like Computex is finished, and you see everyone's like, all the booths are covering up, getting ready for tomorrow, which is the last day. Tomorrow's the
So
last
like
day.
finding music is really important. It really brings the video together. So I wanted like a cyberpunk feel to this part.
Never been invited?
You know, little stuff like that. That takes time. By the way, I hate the way this scene right here. You know what's crazy is like, I didn't even think about this. I wasn't planning this shot, but I think it looks so cool. Anyways, editing it took forever. I don't even remember how many hours and hours and hours. It took me days to edit. Okay, so let's take a look at what it does. So let's go to analytics. It did, what did I say? 47,000 views? 45,000 views. It made me 78 Canadian dollars and made me 87 subscribers. $75 for, let's say, 3 or 4 days of work, you know, full days of work, $75, you know. But again, like I said, it's the casino, so that was...
So every year I get asked to come to...
That was middle of the road, but lately I've just made this video. Oh no, not that video. I wanted to look at one that did really well. So let's go to videos. Let's go to popular. Okay, Miss Zhou comes to visit Taiwan.
Listen, I have
that
to
one did really
apologize
well. This one, I don't even remember the video, but it took a lot to shoot this one. I'm sure it took me days and days and days and days. So this one's almost 1 million views. It made me 2,155 Canadian dollars. So, yeah, stressful. Factory tours. Yeah, the factory tour was a weird one, man. Mafia stuff would be awesome. It would be really cool to shoot, but I have to be careful with that one. The factory tour was crazy. Like when they messaged me, I was like, what the fuck? I don't know how to make... I took it as a challenge because I was like, I don't know what the story is here. I don't know why it's interesting. I don't know. So I kind of took it as a challenge to find the story. So I'm happy with that video. They said they were really happy with the video. I got to use my... it's over there somewhere, my DJI Pocket... Not my Pocket, my Action 6 to like find all these interesting shots and stuff, and it was cool. So I'm glad they liked it. So, and I'm shocked that people enjoyed it. It was a scissors factory. Strange parts, the guy who did the custom iPhone in Shenzhen started up a ranch in the mountains where I live. His factory tool videos are real cool. Ah, yeah, it's kind of like How It's Made, right? That show on Discovery. Being a 9-to-5er sucks, bro. I feel like a slave. Dude, I know what you mean. Like, but a lot of people think like, oh, I'm just going to quit my 9-to-5 and I'll become a YouTuber full time. Fair enough. But like, again, you're really rolling the dice because you have no idea if you're going to make money that week or not, right? Like this week, my video got 4,000 views. It made me $10. That's how much money I made this week. $10. Which is why these live streams are so great because, you know, super chats really help out now that I'm selling this cat. So, you know, 9-to-5 sucks, but also you have a paycheck, which is great. The ranch also does some cool stuff like robot fights. That's awesome. Okay, my fried rice is here. I'll keep the stream up. I just beg for some patience. I just got to run downstairs, grab the fried rice. I'll be back upstairs. Okay, I'll be gone for 2 minutes tops. Stick around. Don't go anywhere. I'll be back real soon. I'm just going to grab my fried rice. Cat, go entertain the stream. The cat's sleeping. Go entertain the masses, cat. returned. How did the cat do? How did the cat do with entertaining you? I hope the cat did well. Okay. Let's see. What have I missed in the chat? No, I have enough animals. Okay. I always thought YouTube was paying you like 10 grand a month minimum. God, no. YouTube, I mean, listen, if you're getting tons of views every single week, yeah, you know, you can get paid a lot. But again, most YouTubers don't get paid from AdSense, right? Like what you just saw. I mean, they do, but it's most of their money comes from sponsorships. But I don't get sponsored, right? Like I also don't really seek them out either. I'll take sponsors when I get them, but I don't have like an agent. Like I don't have someone to go and hunt for sponsorships. Oh, nice. Fried rice. Look at that. Beef fried rice. And I'm gonna top it with some hot sauce. If you're into spicy food, just got fucking fried rice juice all over my goddamn white keyboard. If you're into hot sauce, this one's called Anita's. Not sponsored. It's just really good. This one's the ghost pepper. It's called the Ghost. It's not made from ghost pepper. It's the extra spicy one. But if you're in Taiwan, I'm not sure if they sell it internationally, but give it a try. It's pretty good. I like it. And I'm a big fan of spicy food. Everything I eat is spicy. I put hot sauce on fucking everything. Greetings from Berlin, guys. Distortion Boy. Oh, nice. We got more Germans in the chat. I miss your cooking videos, to be honest. Yeah, they were fun, man. I did them in the same style as Kenji. He's a famous chef in the States. And I always liked his videos, so I did kind of something similar to him where I put, I would wear my hat just like this, and then I would put my GoPro on my hat, so it was like a POV view of what I was doing. They were pretty fun. Special fried rice from my neighbor who owns a Chinese restaurant. Oh, Vanessa had fried rice last night. Look at that. I'm missing a spoon. Hang on. Spoon. Got an extra spoon from 7-Eleven that I didn't use. But yeah. Got any TSMC contacts? I don't know. Do any of my friends work in TSMC? I'm sure I can get some. But TSMC is tough, right? Like their security is tight for obvious reasons. It's not just the money you make, it's the freedom you have. I'm a 9-to-5-er and I hate my life. The freedom's nice, but it comes with a whole bucket load of stress, right? Because the stress comes from, again, not knowing if you're going to make money that week. It's less stressful for me because I always just assume that I won't be making money that week, which is usually the case. But yeah. So it's hard, you know, and then also like it's Taiwan, you know, not everyone's really cares about Taiwan, so it's tough. And also, you know, speaking of sponsors, like it's also unique to Taiwan where marketing is pretty cheap here. And a lot of companies, like smaller to mid-sized companies, don't have a marketing budget. So they can't really afford to hire YouTubers, really. I had chicken fried rice last night. It's been in the freezer for 3 years and it was still good. God damn. Danville 2784. Someone's got to keep an eye on that guy. He's going to end up in the hospital eating 3-year-old frozen fried rice. That's something I would do, to be honest with you. In my mind, if you freeze something, you've basically made it immortal and it'll never expire. What that good one you eat now? I don't even know where this is from. I just got it on Uber Eats. I could have gone downstairs and grabbed fried rice from pretty nearby, but because I'm live streaming, I just got it on Uber Eats. Really? You have a Chinese restaurant, Vanessa, that cooks for you once a week? You know what? The Chinese food that you eat in the West from Chinese restaurants is not what they eat in China or Taiwan, but I still fucking love it. Like Chinese takeout food, Western Chinese takeout food's the bomb. Oh, no, it's amazing. This is breakfast for me. It's 8 o'clock at night, and this is my first meal all day. Something's got to be wrong with my stomach. Because I eat, like, seriously like this. Like, I'll eat once a day. I'm just not hungry when I wake up and throughout most of the day. What brand rice is the most popular here in Taiwan? I have no idea. Taiwan Ruotao is the best. I love Ruotao. Ruotao is my favorite way to eat in Taiwan. That's a Korean girl. She's cute. Yeah, she's apparently, says Skidla, a North Korean person who was in Taiwan. She was actually in the chat earlier. And she added me on Instagram, so I'll chat with her later. But yeah. So yeah. Good God, that's good. Oh yeah, this is what I wanted to go because we're talking about life in Taiwan and China. These photos taken by this person's grandparents in the 70s and 80s in China. And what you have to know about China in the 70s and 80s, it was a rough place to be, right? This is coming off the tail end of the Great Leap Forward and the Cultural Revolution. It's just after that. And so the country was still desperately poor and hadn't quite opened up to the West just yet. You know, Deng Xiaoping hadn't, those things, those connections to the West hadn't quite.
Wu-Tang is for the children. We teach the children.
Hang on, got to put this on pause. Got a super chat from Vanessa again, 10 Australian dollars. His restaurant is Chinese and Philippine traditional dishes. Ah. She actually does like actual Chinese food. God damn, good for you for eating that. To be honest though, like if I was in Australia or if I was in Canada, I had the choice between like actual Chinese food and Western takeout Chinese food, I would take takeout Chinese food just because I can get, regular Chinese food every day. Interesting. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. That should pay for this fried rice. Vanessa is just on fire on this live stream. Making sure Vanessa takes care of her boys. She makes sure her kids have enough food to eat all the Chinese food in the world, and then she also makes sure that I've got enough to eat. Melbourne's men's channel. I try to explain guys to girlfriends when I was living in China, and it was always the same confused look. The repulsion and question why. Every girlfriend's reaction was the same. What? I tried to explain guys to girlfriends? What does that mean? I must be reading that wrong. My battery, this was fun. Knit Turrets, thank you, Prosley, for the education and new knowledge, geo-global... Thank you, Fake Account. You've been huge. You've had a lot to say in this chat, and I appreciate it. Go charge your phone. Anyways, yeah. China was poor as fuck. And so he's got these photos here. Let me make sure that you guys can actually see them. This is blocked off by the chat. Let me move this over. That did nothing. What is this? I don't know what I'm moving around on my screen, but it's not really working. Someone has to look after you. Exactly. And I'm glad that person's you, Vanessa. You know what's interesting about this photo is like, I don't know why, but when I lived in China, I don't ever remember seeing temples that often. Like obviously they had them, but it's not like Taiwan where there's temples on every single street. But these photos are taken in Guangdong, I think. And they worship similar gods in Guangdong than they do Taiwan. particular Mazu, the goddess of the sea, because they're both all coastal. You can also, I love the way that Chinese people dressed back then, just like the communists, the communist caps and the outfits and stuff. Wild. And I wonder if these people know how much money, like how much better their lives are going to be in like the blink of an eye. This photo fucking right here looks so much like Henan, it's crazy. I don't know if it's Henan, it's not, but the coal burning tower in the background, so China. You know, another crazy thing when I lived in Henan, my friends took me on, do you know Globic? I do not. Sounds familiar, but I don't know. People in Henan were so poor that they lived in caves. Like this era, 70s, 80s, they lived in the caves. And I got to see it. I've got photos of them somewhere. But that's how poor people were, just like insane levels of poverty. I guarantee this child was wearing those like bottomless pants. It's like a little slit, like a little cut in the trousers so that they can just like squat like that and go potty anywhere. This looks a lot like Taiwan, I'll be honest. If you want to see some fucked up shit though, and again, you want movie, The Average Joe's off now. See it, thanks for joining. If you're looking for movie recommendations, you know, you're always hunting for something to look. Earlier in the stream, I recommended Layer Cake, great movie. Oh, was the first picture taken in Japan? That's probably why I didn't look too Chinese. The second movie is called A Foggy Tale. It's a movie that takes place in the 1950s in Taiwan. Wow, it's a real eye-opener, really good. It's about this little girl who has to travel from Chiayi to Taipei to collect her brother's body. And the way they like depict Taiwan back then was crazy. This is Chinese as fuck. Got the propaganda poster up there. No cars. People like couldn't really afford cars. Which is why like the Volkswagen Santana, the car that I had, was like the people's car. It was the first car that people could probably afford. God damn. There's parts of Taiwan that still look like this. Like they kept their sort of ancestral homes. You know, bricks and stuff. It looks the same. Huh. Curly-haired Chinese baby. You don't see that too often. Isn't it crazy, like 10 years before this photo, these people survived the worst famine in human history? Wow. It's hot-ass fried rice. What is this? Oh, it's like a yarn, like they're making clothes. I believe the word for these are sweatshops. Have you seen The Substance? I have not. Can't wait for the CCP to fall and free the people and the world. Yeah, I think you'd be surprised. Chinese people are, they don't want China to fall. The Substance, I have not seen that movie. 2024. It's got Demi Moore. Dennis Quaid. I will add that to my list. The Substance. Nice. Oh, this is Shanghai, 100%. It has to be Shanghai. Shanghai is the only city that doesn't look like a Chinese city or feel like a Chinese city. Because it wasn't even built by the Chinese, you know? Oh, I got a rogue shrimp in my fried rice. Shanghai's such a weird place, man. The people don't even act Chinese. They don't even speak Chinese. They speak like their own Shanghai dialect. The city's so, like, back in the day they had like a German quarter and a French quarter, and so the Germans built that part of the city, which is why Shanghai looks so European. A lot of Taiwanese people still live in these homes, these style of homes. But of course, this is China, so it's different. This looks a lot like my ex-girlfriend's farm that her family had in China. God damn. I would have hated to be a child in China in the 70s and 80s. Like, it's the 80s or the 70s, whenever this photo was taken, you still have carts being pulled by donkeys. You know, no judgment, I'm just saying you can see how underdeveloped China was back then. Also, this photo, like, I don't know if you guys ever have, like, smells that bring up a memory inside of you. You know, like, oh, this, I can kind of smell this photo, so to speak. I can almost smell this photo. There's like a photo to like a Chinese market that's just so memorable. Some interesting photos, though. And then to contrast that, I've got pictures of Taiwan in 1979. So like you can see what Taiwan looked like versus China, 1983. Scooters still remain king back then, except you didn't have to wear a helmet. And all of these are old Vespas. You can buy these now. They go for like 100,000 NT. Every single photo, every single scooter in here are like popular resto mods in Taiwan. And they're all two-strokes. They're pretty cool. I like that this guy has a helmet in his basket, but it's not on his head. And yeah, you can just see, like, look, what is this? 1979, this is Kaohsiung. Now, Taiwan looks pretty much exactly like this today. But you can see, compared to China, just how much more advanced Taiwan was back then, right? Donkey pulling a cart, whatever, a bus, and then you've got this. People actually driving a goddamn car, you know? And I'm not like saying that to like dunk on China or something. It's just an interesting difference because even today you have some Taiwanese people that think that China is still really underdeveloped and it isn't. You know, it'd be really fun. If we got someone like GeoGuessr to find this exact same location in Kaohsiung, where is this? Gushan district? Go back there today and take the same photo at the same angle, because there's a good chance that these buildings are still there. And just to see what it looks like, you know, like how different it is. That old motorcycle is cool. Yeah, it is pretty cool. All right. Danshui Station, 1984. That's a cool hatchback. Dude, if you told me this photo was from last year, I would totally believe you. All of those motorcycles and scooters are still on the road today. That car could be on the road. This fridge in the background looks exactly like they would, like, you know, nothing really has changed that much in 30, 40 years. The buildings still look like that, uglier than shit. This is Ximending in 1984. Wow, I didn't know Ximending was kind of a touristy area back then too, but it's really cool that the train goes there. And they also have a link to that spot today. We're definitely checking that out. See what the differences are. Whoops. That's the substance again. That's not what I wanted. I wanted to copy this. Oh, because I copied the image. That was the wrong thing. Okay, it's not giving me an actual. It's not giving me an actual location, but still cool. And they even had a train run by that, run through it too. This is a sick photo. This is why people say that Taiwan is like Japan and China if you combine them, because you can kind of see some elements of like Japan in here, you know, with all the advertising everywhere. $1984. So much nostalgia for the 80s. This is Kaohsiung in 79. Kaohsiung in 83. Oh, this is Love River. I kind of feel like I know exactly where this is. Love River is that river that Foreigner jumped into we talked about earlier in the stream. Street vendor in 84. All of these like day markets and things still exist. Again, if you told me this photo was from this year, I would believe you. Crossing in 1983. Train station in 1984. Oh. Don't know what that is. Oh, I got a subscriber. Nice. That train was cool. Yeah, that is cool. Rainy season in 1984. Pretty cool. It's so fun to see fruit shops everywhere. Like there's a fruit shop. Like they're just fucking everywhere. And they're everywhere today too. It's just kind of interesting to see. And a shoes shop. Like all of these shops are the exact same. Like the shop, they haven't changed at all. Taipei main station before it was replaced by the bigger building we know today. Oh, is this like the old Japanese one or something? Because in Taichung we also have an old train station and a new train station. Is this a subject for a video? Pick a few old photos and ride your bike for the modern view. That would be pretty cool. The writing is also going left to right in a lot of those signs. Oh, really? Wait, yeah, they should be going left to right. Oh, right to left, really? Interesting. Oh yeah, there's even Japanese up there. Oh, no, there isn't. That's Chinese. I can't really see. It's not very clear. Taipei main station in 1984. Wow. Yeah, that would be a cool video, like trying to find these places. How long have I been going for? 2 hours and 20 minutes. Let's take it to 3 hours, but if you guys want to extend it, go ahead and super chat. And at the end of the video, I'll pick up the cat and show you the cat. I feel like I've been teasing you guys with the cat for this whole time. Look how 80s everybody looks. Cool. What's this? Waiting for a bus in 84. It's just this old man casually smoking a cigarette in a crowd. I remember living in China and being so frustrated. Like if I was a C-Milk and C-Milk's kid, someone would get in the elevator with like a lit cigarette, and you'd be like, what the fuck? Evening shot in 1983. Let's think. If you were like, let's take a look at, I don't know, this guy here. It's really hard to tell how old he is. Let's say he's 20. I don't know. He might be younger. He might be like 15. Post office right to the left. Okay. Let's say he's like 15 in 1984. So you're born 1970-ish. 15, 20 years old. You know, that guy's like 56 today. Wild. Time. This looks exactly like Taiwan as it is today. Tainan Indoor Market. This looks exactly like Taichung's second market. Look at the prices too. It's not as cheap as I sort of thought. What is this, Rolkan for 20? These are fish noodles for 35. I mean, okay, that's pretty cheap. Cool. Yeah, Taiwan has not changed at all. That's what's funny, right? These are photos of China 70s and 80s, and China has changed a lot. You know, like you don't really see too many images of this unless you go super deep countryside in China, right? These images of Taiwan looks exactly like this today. Nothing has changed. Because, you know, they don't really give a shit about aesthetics, right? So, Taiwan Summer Starter Pack. 38 degrees with 120% humidity. Prehistoric sized cockroaches roaming free. Yeah. Always some IE in the sunproofing burqa. My wife during a Taiwan summer, I sure could go for hot pot. Honestly, hot pot in summer is not bad because they fucking blast the AC. I like that old motorcycle, so cool. Yeah, it is cool. Gotta go, take it easy, my friend. See you, Steven. Gas station tanks, same, yep. My German dad went to Taiwan in the 70s to write his thesis, and he met my Taiwanese mother. Interesting to see photos from that time. That's pretty cool. You should post them on Instagram or something. That's interesting. But yeah, the AC is always amazing in hot pot restaurants, so I don't actually mind hot pot in the summer. Oh yeah, just like this person says. Come fly with me. Great meme. I give it a 7 out of 10. And then, yeah, those are all the, oh, fucking cat stings. What is that smell? Oh, that's bad. Anyways, let's just check. I might not even extend the stream if we don't have enough here. 34, yeah. That's not bad. Taiwanese esports any good? I have no idea. I don't watch esports. I don't even know what esports is, to be honest with you. But yeah. Yeah, I'm going to go back. Let's go back and take a look at some of your suggestions for videos. First of all, Stephen for the 5 British pounds. Appreciate you. Skidla with the massive 50 American dollars. Fucking legend. Appreciate that. Vanessa, 20 Australian dollars. Legend. Vanessa's always... And then 10 more Australian dollars. Thank you, Vanessa. I feel like I guilt tripped you guys into donating because I showed you my my ad revenue, and you guys are like, Jesus Christ, that's bad. And yeah, and it is. So thank you for the super chats. That's awesome. I was gonna say something else. Oh yeah, I forgot to show you the cat. So Skidla won the cat. I feel so bad picking up a sleeping cat. Is that legal? Are you allowed to bother a cat that's sleeping? Ah, he's moving. What would you like, cat? I think he's hungry. This is good news. I'm gonna move my fried rice over here in case he jumps on my table. I don't want cat hair in my food. Kitty. What would you like? He looks very sinister right now. I don't know why. I don't think you guys could even see him from this angle because there's a chair blocking him. Come here, kitty. Fuck it, I'm just gonna grab him. I'll give you guys a look at the cat that Skidla won. $50. Sold the Skidla. I think he's hungry. Here is Skidla's new cat. You paid $50 for this. Take good care of him. He is Glory's pride and joy. So, there you have it. He's quite a calm cat. I've had him now for a couple of days, and I haven't really been fucking with him at all. I just kind of leave him alone to do whatever he wants. And this is the first time I've actually picked him up. And he's quite calm. Let's see, I don't want him to like scratch and freak out. Because he's a Scottish fold, right? So I don't think he can fucking breathe. Can you listen to this? Listen, I don't know if my microphone will pick up the weird way he's breathing. Oh, he stopped making that noise. Okay, you want off. Here you go. Ow, fucking sharp claws. And the hair. This is why I moved my fried rice. Just covered. But yeah, I have not much else to add to this stream, I think. Shall get busy looking for videos to shoot. He looks scared. Probably is scared. I'm scary, okay? Glory says 50 is too low for the amount she paid to have him watched. Well, if Super Chat more then. It's not my fault. I just got a low bid. I tried my best to sell him. It was a blind sell. It was a blind, sight unseen. I'll have a look through some of your suggestions for the videos. Some of you guys said more factory tours. never mind. I thought there was more like suggestions for videos you guys wanted to watch. Unless I'm just not seeing them. But yeah. Good. Appreciate you for watching. I'm gonna finish my fried rice, and I think the cat has to eat too. So now I'm covered in cat hair. Hooray. Yeah.